shadows gather where the truth once stood. A kingdom of confusion carved out of falsehood. But he walks through the ruins like a prophet reborn. A voice once in fire, a mic on is gone. The chaos watches with an all-seeing glare. Guardian of reason in a world unaware. When the overlord stalls at the edge of the frame, the faithful rise up, they already know his name. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sin. I come to wake the sleeping, the church will bring the fed. No hurdles, no illusions, no hollow in your bed. Here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Thinking truth from the wreckage, raising dawn from the dead. Every word is a weapon, sharp and clear. Exposing every shadow we pretend not to fear. And the overlord marches with the suffering command. A beast of judgment, the mortal chemist dead. On his growl rings through the silence of the night. The loyal understand, trigger keeps the balance right. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. I'm making the chaos of found to every test. Strong against the darkness, rising in defense. He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Bow your head to the beast that controls the doors. It's signal of reason with the ball-crushing block. If his ball runs empty, the shadows will consume. The world cracks open, ushering down. So with the command, don't deploy and accord. If you know what's good, feed more the overlord. I'm here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. I'm the chaos of every test. Strong against the darkness, rising to defense. He's here to resurrect the second coming of common sense.
All right, welcome back to the party, everybody. This is Morty, and I am your host, Lech, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Everybody hit that like and subscribe. You know how we do it for you, and let's party. Who we got in the building? Shout out to Bambi. We also got Warehouse Junkie. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Got our boy King Nirvana. Welcome. Always good to see you. We got Teenage Dirtbag in the party. Said, although we enjoy the content, this intro sucks. You are the first one not to like it, so sucks does suck. Warehouse said, I'd be really disappointed in Caleb if he became litigious over something like this. So yeah, this is the first time I'm covering a financial audit episode. I've always, just for whatever reason, felt like he would, be kind of on lockdown with the copyright stuff. But shout out to Warehouse. Let's let it ride. So let's let it ride. It was a couple months ago when Gretchen Whitmer, governor of Michigan, was on the podcast, and I skipped through it a little bit. They were talking about a lot of different things related to the budget. I don't know exactly how far into the numbers they actually get, but I think it's going to be an interesting conversation. So everybody hit that like button, and as always, if you cannot hear the video, please do let me know.
You got to use tariffs like a scalpel, not a sledgehammer to everything.
That's a political talking point. I've never heard one of those in person. That's wild. Food stamps, let's just say, or food assistance. Have we set up our systems in a way we're also just discouraging people from going out there and being contributors? This is the part of the show where I usually go through the spending, and it's like, we got some bullshit spending in there. We got some fucking taquitos. This is some bullshit. Yeah, you're stopping in the gas station, get yourself some bullshit. Political extremism. It's scary. Yeah. What do you think is going on with political extremism right now, and how would you solve it?
Your blood got thin moving down south, didn't it?
Sign up for the new and improved DollarWise budgeting app. Take the free trial, and if you like it, sign up
for
the annual version. Save a ton of money and get my budget-friendly cookbook signed by me and mailed directly to you. And for a limited time only, if you want to bundle all of my educational programs together with the budget app, join DollarWise Central and save 80%. Take the trial and learn more at dollarwise.com.
All right, let's go.
Hi, I'm Gretchen Whitmer. I'm the governor of Michigan, and this is Financial Audit.
Loser.
This is crazy.
What?
This is just so weird. The governor of my home state, and we're doing an audit on the home state and talking some more things. This is crazy.
I know. I'm so glad to be with you. I appreciate all the things you do.
Really?
I mean, right now, we'll see how I feel in 60 minutes.
People on the left call me a fascist. So saying that as
join the club, buddy. Join the club.
The Democratic governor who's going to be the Democratic nominee for president at some point, definitely not running though.
Probably.
Anyway.
It's really good to hear that I'm not a fascist anymore.
Listen, you know what? Everyone's got opinions right now. I'm not going to pay attention to any of that.
No,
I'm glad for what you do.
Well,
I think what you do is important.
Yeah, thank you. I really do appreciate that. And, and when it comes to actually like extremism and divisiveness, I would love to hear your opinion on that, towards the end. But, I'd love to start with kind of Michigan finances in general, just kind of what the state looks like, and do some Michigan policies and then some national ones because, at some point, national might be involved in this conversation with you.
Let's go.
We'll see.
Here we go.
I want to start though.
So what do you guys think in general of Gretchen Whitmer? Like she is, I haven't seen a lot of her in the news. Obviously she had that crazy story, but policy wise, I'm not super familiar with her. But Democrat, just gonna Democrat. But I don't know. I'm here ready to be open.
So Michigan, 10th most populous state, pretty big economy. It is a major state. It's an important state in the world of politics. It's gone Trump twice. It went anti-Trump once, right?
Yep.
It went Biden. So, it's very important. We were discussing beforehand, you don't like the term Rust Belt because it feels like it's done. But, that's a very important like mega region in the United States. The Midwest, it's the most populous megalopolis. So it's very important and kind of.
He speaks kind of fast. Let's give it normal speed.
How states are doing there and how they're running their economies, how their economies are doing, how the state governments are.
Unfortunately, I think that is the case for a lot of progressives. That I don't believe that they're necessarily, all evil. There definitely are some. But I think if we were to look at the Democrat, or we'll specifically talk about progressives, if we take the progressive politicians versus the progressive activists, the activists are the evil ones. Not saying the politicians are not, but this aspect of I really do want to help and just not, having the right answers on how to do that.
Overall working, I think, kind of sets a precedent for...
Yeah, she's the governor of Michigan.
How many other states around the country do.
Yeah.
So I want to know first, we'll get into some of the numbers, but when you look at the state budget, when you sign a budget into law, when you advocate for certain things, what are some of the primary things you're thinking of when it comes to revenue collection, when it comes to where we're distributing revenue? What are key priorities for you? What are we hyper-focused on?
So
immigrant fraud.
Think about making sure
that's just Tim Walz.
That anyone can come to Michigan and build the life they want. That's really the North Star. That is who we are. People came to Michigan from around the world for a job in the auto industry.
Well, I left
decades ago.
Didn't he have some weird shit that was going on? I completely forgot about that. There was some weird shit where like he was talking dirty to some younger kid. I don't know for sure if it was underage. I think he's about my age, around the 30s. But yeah, I forget about that. What happened with that? What happened with that? We got to get answers to that. Not having the right answers in the industry, we call this foreshadowing. Bingo. Yep. Oh, you're talking about me? All right, we'll see.
People came to Michigan from around the world for a job in the auto industry.
Well, I left.
Decades ago. I
Sorry.
know. Well, it's time for you to come home.
Well, it's a little cold.
But, you got weak, huh? Anyway.
Hey, yo!
Sorry, continue.
People came from around the world to Michigan to get into the middle class. You could get a job on the line. You didn't even have to go to any schooling beyond high school, and you could get into the middle class, afford a second home up north on the lake. I mean,
shout out to Lone Wolf and Cub. And indeed, that is the one thing I know her for distinctly. I was saying I'm not super familiar with her or with Michigan, but I'm open to find out. Welcome.
It was a great quality of life. It's why we've got such rich diversity. It's why we've been the center of manufacturing for a long time. And that's a great strength. But we know manufacturing is changing, right? The whole world is changing rapidly. And so as we think about making sure that Michigan stays competitive so that we've got the resources to invest in our people, making sure that we've got the skill sets that are necessary for advanced manufacturing jobs of the future, making sure that we're investing in places so that there are cool places for people to live.
Is it based that he gets harsh, or is it projection? Is it projection because he's also a Dejan? You never know. The
future, making sure that we're investing in places so that there are cool places for people to live.
Cool, man.
And that we're landing projects. It's a competitive world. We have to outcompete other states. We have to outcompete other countries to get big investment that leads to good paying jobs. And right now, I think we've done a lot of good things in Michigan. It's tenuous with the tariff chaos that we're all navigating.
This Trump ad
this week ushers in another new era of Trump tariffs.
World leaders are trying to figure out how to respond to President Trump's attempt to reshape the global economy.
Columbus, Michigan, for farmers feeding the state. But this year, there's a new stressor.
Tariffs. These tariffs are starting to take a bite.
China slapped new tariffs on many items.
Toys, furniture.
And then the economy fell, right? Oh, no, that didn't happen? Okay.
Smartphones. Just about everything you can think of that comes from another country, you're going to end up paying more for it.
We feel it more difficult in Michigan because of agriculture and advanced manufacturing, specifically autos. We're more sensitive to the tariff nonsense. And so I think that's a major concern on my mind right now.
And I do have a question.
Going in the wrong direction already. Shout out to equality and deference because vagina. Over on Rumble. Welcome to the party. Said liked and shared. Oh my goodness. Thank you so very, very much. You guys know how much that stuff really does help the channel. It does. It's free. It takes 1 second. It doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link that you shared. Just but telling the platform that you want more people to see it, they will show it to more people. Thank you. Welcome to the party. Said, I expect this bitch to be lying. Yeah, I said shit. Me too. Let's not forget. Politicians are not human beings. Left or right, they are not human beings. He's told multiple guests to start and I'll laugh. I feel, that's why I'm like, I definitely see, like I don't follow the show specifically, but I see lots of clips. And I thought he was from what I'd seen, he's always like, well, why are you doing this? But it's not really about the principle with him. The idea is the money from what I've seen. So we'll see. And then I've definitely seen him call some people out. So let's see if he does it to the governor.
About the tariff, I mean, we can. Well, actually, I'll jump into that. That kind of goes into the Michigan politics, side of things. When it came to NAFTA, it projected we lost manufacturing jobs in Michigan of about 44,000 by 2010, 112,000 by 2018, with even expanding into more Chinese trade. And Michigan lost, potentially upwards of 231,000 jobs since NAFTA was enacted. Manufacturing jobs losing about 21.3%. Now, Trump's trade wars or deals that he's trying to do, they tend to be more nationalistic. They tend to be more protective. If Michigan specifically has lost 21%, I do tend to like a good mixture of globalism and then some, patriotism, nationalistic. I think there's a good hybrid to be done.
I'm starting to realize that my position of being super isolationist, I don't think I ever identified as just isolationist. We should not ever be using the military unless there is another country, sending troops here or bombs or whatever. But I'm definitely seeing the difference between stuff that we do like over in the Middle East versus stuff that we do, in our own backyard. So we'll see what's going on.
But in general,
with that.
the political left does tend to be more globalistic right now, stereotypically, right? Oversimplifying. And the right tends to be more nationalistic. Wouldn't you, of the Rust Belt, state of Michigan that lost 21% in those sectors, be more in favor of something that's a bit more protectionist?
Yeah, I'd think.
Well, yes and no. You got to be really smart, right? You got to use tariffs like a scalpel, not a sledgehammer. It's not the answer to everything.
That's a political talking point. I've never heard one of those in person. That's wild. That's wild.
But it's true. I mean, you got to be really thoughtful about it. Tariffs have their place, for sure.
Yeah.
We've always had.
Just not when Trump does it.
Some sort of a tariff scheme, because we can compete. We can outcompete anyone on a level playing field. But there are a lot of countries that aren't playing on a level. Yes, we can.
On
Absolutely.
level for price?
Yes.
Our price of labor is
Yes.
substantially more expensive in the United States.
When you look at quality, when you look at efficiency, yes, we can. But we got to have a level playing field.
You will own nothing and you will be happy.
And because of so many decisions that have been made over many decades, we know that our North American auto industry relies on parts that are going back and forth over the Ambassador Bridge in Detroit to Windsor, Canada, 7-8 times a day for parts. I mean, this trade is really important. We've built it in. Trump negotiated the USMCA, or whatever you want to call it, depending which country you're in. They all call it something different because they want their own country to start first. I totally, wholeheartedly want us to onshore and bring as much manufacturing to the shores of the United States.
But there's going to be a but.
By the same token,
By the same token, it's the same thing as but.
sober about who our allies are and who's really been a part of our growth and what we've required manufacturing to rely on. You can't set up a plant overnight. It takes years. These companies make decades and investments, decades on the front end. And so manufacturing is just different than almost any other type of commerce that we have. And that's why it needs to be used as a scalpel, not a sledgehammer.
That certainly makes sense from the perspective of, whatever political party we're leaning from and everything like that. I will say,
I would have loved her to, if that's the case, and she could stand behind that, but I would have loved what she would have said, the reason these Trump tariffs are not working is X, Y, Z. And what we could have done is A, B, and C. But no, just general, scalpel, not a sledgehammer.
I just want to start out of the gate from my audience, even though people on the far left call me a fascist and stuff. We were even talking about this before. I took, out of just pure curiosity, when people were putting me in political camps, political tests a week ago, and I'm aggressively, boringly, but obnoxiously centrist. That fence is going right through my and out my mouth. It is brutal. I apologize, Governor.
It's a visual.
Trump bad.
Well, thank you.
It is, but I'm an obnoxious fence sitter. One of the more controversial, not controversial things, but because you talked about it, a plant doesn't get set up overnight, right?
Yep. You've done a lot of research. You got a lot there.
This is exciting.
Some people actually have to do their jobs.
A part of the spending that kind of comes out of the state could be more incentive type spending, but
has anybody caught one of Caleb's live streams? I've seen that he does lives now. I don't really know. I've seen clips from that when he was talking about iDubbbz and them selling their home and all that stuff. But is that more, him just kind of vibing, talking about whatever? Is it a specific thing about finances and stuff? If anybody knows. Shout out to HR Death Poet. Welcome to the party. This is the governor of Michigan, the kidnapped one. The kidnapped one. Welcome.
And comes out of the state could be more incentive type spending, but we're talking the Blue Oval Battery Park. That incentive package was cut from $1.03 billion to $409 million. And if we're thinking about plants being set up overnight, this is one of the more controversial things that was done from the state government perspective. And that was projected jobs from 2,500 down to 1,700. And then the state pulled a separate $100 million grant tied to lighting reductions there. And then there was the Make It in Michigan.
And then Gretchen Whitmer.
$1 billion on 5 EV battery related projects pledged there. Where we're choosing to put the money that obviously other people are making and whatnot. And then we're kind of reducing some of the incentive packages we're doing to certain plans. And like you said, it's not an overnight thing when they get in there. What is your thoughts on that in terms of where we're putting?
I was going to say, let's land the plane here. What are we talking about?
To help businesses actually relocate to other states, especially when we're kind of slashing and then saying, no, it's going to go into 5 EV battery plants. I'd love to hear your perspective.
I think when you talk about autos, there's no question that the technology is changing and evolving, and we're getting smarter, we're getting cleaner. That's a good thing, right? And under the Biden administration, they had a lot of incentives, and we saw a huge amount of investment that was being contemplated or begun in this country during the Biden administration. Now, with the Trump administration, a lot of things are getting pulled back, and business is nervous, right? As well as I know, when there is an uncertain, strategy, when the rules keep changing, what happens in uncertainty? It's paralysis, right? You stop spending, you pull back, you wait to see, is the dust going to settle, and we're going to make these billions of dollars of investments. And so,
isn't moving the plan the essentially the leftist playbook? I guess she's not a leftist, the progressive playbook.
One of the things we know, though,
right?
as more
go with the wind, whatever people want to hear today,
electric vehicles come online, as we build up the grid and support people being able to travel with an electric vehicle, where the batteries are built is going to be the center of gravity, because they're going to be the heaviest component in the car. And so battery plants are really important to Michigan as we think about the long term.
Well, these are obviously brand things. We saw the dollarized thing at the beginning, and this says gamer subs. And when you get that money coming in, just plop it right there. And remember, if there's anybody out there that owns a drink company or a cup receptacle company, I will switch this out immediately and dilly to you every single time I take a sip. Hit me up.
Dominance in mobility. We are currently the home of R&D for almost every auto company on the planet.
Michigan loves them cars.
Yeah. But we've got to also be able to be the place where they can build batteries. They got the expertise and the concentration of assets in Michigan. And that's why, really getting aggressive around.
My biggest fan. Welcome to the party. Yeah, she's got a coffee, a tea, a soda, and a pee. What? Welcome to the party.
The concentration of assets in Michigan. And that's why, really getting aggressive around that space has been important for us.
Which, I can certainly vibe with, but, as the CEO of the state, right? And we're thinking about what CEOs are doing right now. 87% of CEOs in Michigan expect a weaker overall state economy looking over the next decade.
Yeah, there's no question that when...
What are you going to say to that, Miss Whitmer?
We look at right now what's happening. There are a lot of
or Titmore, as Equality would say,
troubling signs about what's happening in the economy. And I think a lot of it stems from the unpredictability of the tariff network and policies right now coming.
Trump bad.
Out of
Okay, so let's discuss that. What are what word did she use?
Unpredictability of.
Okay, what is unpredictable? Which is the unpredictable part? I'm not saying there's none. I'm just asking you, are you actually making a point here, or are you just throwing out buzzwords? And because, again, this was 2 months ago, so tariffs bad, Trump bad. She's Michigan's one of the best states in the union, so y'all better take it easy. Hey, everybody gets the same treatment. No special treatment here, but welcome to the party.
In the economy. And I think a lot of it stems from the unpredictability of the tariff network and policies right now coming out of D.C.
Okay, how so? Notice how she's very good at saying a lot of things without actually giving you a message.
It's challenging. And I've been...
Okay, why is it challenging? What are the aspects that are challenging? How do we deal with those challenges?
Been advocating with the president, with his cabinet, with folks in Washington, D.C. I mean, I go no matter who's in office because my job
hit
is
your face.
deliver. Well, I wasn't there for that particular press conference, but
that was very funny. That was very funny, wasn't it?
Yeah. Shout out to Arrow. Welcome to the party. Getting us started with a big 5. Thank you so very, very much. Come on. He's a little down. We had to take a drive, and he took his nausea medication, so he might be a little bit off. But thank you, and of course that tramp stamp that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Thank you so very, very much. And remember, guys, we got that stream goal: 15 super chats of any amount or a total of $75 not only gets Morty a special treat, but these puny little arms. I got to do push-ups. Every $2 is another push-up. So thank you for getting us started. Let's dive back in. Welcome.
That was very funny. That was very funny, wasn't it? I mean, come on. That was great.
I can laugh at it now.
Yes.
But, my job is I'm the governor of Michigan. I got to show up and fight for the people of Michigan and the Michigan economy. And that's really what I'm doing when I'm trying to set the table, when I'm trying to make sure that our people have skills and that you understand, how to have personal finance, passing a law so that we are arming our people with information so they can make good choices and build the lives that they want. All of these things are related.
And I am very excited to talk about that one because that is something I've advocated for these past 3 years. But I do want to talk about, again, the state of Michigan first. Sorry, I get...
All right, so before we get there, we got a novel here from CJ. Said, as a Michigan resident, she has kept Michigan's economy, workforce, and prices one of the best in leading states in the healthcare workforce and economically sound and affordable compared to many others. You as a civilian do not have the read and clearance on things that she does that runs the state. So asking relevant questions is important, but realizing what she's stating is important to consider context and such. Periods, guys. Punctuation, please. You know what's in your head. I don't know where the pauses are. Context and such, so that it applies all across the board. That's why she's not being directly specific, and she's also not being as direct specific questions. What? Sorry, bro. I don't know what you mean. I mean, like, I hear you say asking relevant questions is important. I feel like that's what we're doing here.
These past 3 years. But I do want to talk about, again, the state of Michigan first. Sorry, I get distracted into rabbit holes way too easily. So outstanding debt for the state of Michigan, $6.925 billion by the end of last year. Now we're looking at 2024's financials because I believe 2024 to 2025 financials for the state of Michigan just closed out this month or last month, if I'm not mistaken. However,
got the numbers.
That debt went down $300 million or 4.2% year over year.
Going down is good. Debt going down is good. A shout out to my sugar daddy, the Funk Master General. Welcome to the party with the big 10 gifted memberships. Thank you so very, very much. And of course, that makes you the new sponsor of the stream. Welcome. Hope you are doing well, brother. Always a pleasure to see you. Thank you so very, very much. And remember, guys, if you just got gifted a membership, let me drop the link to the Discord. It is free for anybody to join. But if you are a member, you got some special privileges, including the after party. As soon as we are done here on YouTube, we are heading over to Discord, where we'll be in the voice channel, and you're not stuck behind your keyboard. You're actually on screen with me and everybody else. You don't have to cam up, but either way, it is a good time. Thank you again, brother. Let's dive back in. Thank you.
$300 million or 4.2% year over year. Geo bonded debt, $691.2 million. But then, the vast majority of that 6.9 is revenue dedicated from transportation and state building authority. And then the government itself does have lease commitments of $729.4 million in general. Then there is MDOT capital commitments, year end $3.3 billion. How do you feel about the debt of the state of Michigan? I mean, 4.2% paid off year over year. You know, if you were a guest on the show, you know, I wouldn't be screaming too much at that. That's pretty okay. You know, that's pretty chill. That's progress.
We've paid off
Progress, actual progress, not being progressive and getting things done that you want done. But actual progress is always good. I'm not here to be like, well, but Democrat so bad.
You know, I wouldn't be screaming too much at that. That's pretty okay. You know, that's pretty chill. That's progress.
We've paid off a lot of debt, and I'm proud of that. I think that that's really important. One of the things that states can't do, like the federal government does, is run deficits, right? Borrow money. Like we can't do that. We've got to have a balanced budget. I have had a balanced bipartisan budget every year that I've been governor. I've been to Wall Street to meet with rating agencies. We secured an upgrade in our bond rating. These
AAA, right?
These are AA, I think, right now. But you know that was an
You'll get there, girl. You'll get
upgrade
there
from where we were, and so I think it's important to have our fiscal house in order. It impacts everything that we're trying to do. So we take that very seriously. It's not.
But now with all this fraud stuff dropping everywhere, obviously started in Minnesota, but we're seeing it all over the place. There was just that video Tyler Alvera dropped about the Jews in New York. There's almost exactly the same thing happening in my state, in Lakewood, New Jersey. So we'll see if there's any fraud coming out of Michigan under her watch.
Sexy to most, but I'm glad that you find it exciting.
It's no, I'm gooning over here. Let's go. Do you know what gooning is?
You know what? I actually was just hearing about gooning.
Really?
Yes.
From who?
Where?
The lieutenant governor?
Whoa.
I don't know. Is that a controversial thing?
Where was it?
We professionals.
I don't know. I had something on television.
You were gooning, flicking the bean.
They're talking about gooning on
it was
TV.
Your show. You
that
were talking
sounds
to a
right.
guy.
This is
You were
Goon
talking
Central.
to a guy who was spending his money on spicy media.
But you withdrew, what is this adding up to? About $700, would you say? $700 in cash.
That's a lot.
Wait, $700 in cash? For cash for an app?
I can't think of anything.
Not strippers.
No, he doesn't do that anymore. No, I just stay at home all day. Really? He really doesn't go anywhere.
It's expensive gooning. It's just smoking gooning. Now, if I saw that in the government...
Wait, I want to know. What? Where did the $700 in cash, where did that go?
The government's books. Some only purchases, I'd be a little concerned. They're not there, are they, as we go through here?
Is that what you were talking about when you were saying he was gooning, right?
Probably.
Yeah,
he probably had that OF.
So educate your listeners who are not as cool as you.
Tell everybody else. I know, but just explain it to them because they might not get it.
Gooning.
Endless permanent never finishes.
I appreciate
apologize.
you.
And press secretary, I apologize. I keep seeing her there. I'm judging on her facial reactions.
About it. Yes, it was your show.
I thought this was about money. What happened?
No, thank you for educating me, Caleb.
One thing that is a slight concern, though, there is the if we look at the overall, the net position.
Yeah.
Of the state of Michigan, it is still negative $1.3 billion. Now that's like assets owned and then commitments that is required spending. So yes, we're running.
Okay, so let's see, $1.3 billion. So let's see. What am I doing here? Let's see. So can you list the states in order of what exact metric is this now?
There is
educating me, Caleb.
One thing that is a slight concern, though, there is the if we look at the overall, the net position.
Yeah.
Of the state of Michigan, it is still negative $1.3 billion. Now that's like,
I'm not exactly. Would you guys know what specifically to like what metric are they talking about? He's just saying their Michigan is negative 1.3 billion. But keep in mind this is 2024 data. I was trying to look up and get a list to see what the other states look like. Let's try this. So let's just explain it. Hey, a shout out to Dylan Soup. Welcome to the party. Very good to see you, brother. All right, so let's say, oh, that's not, over here. Watching Caleb Hammer talking to Gretchen Whitmer, and he said that they were net negative $1.3 billion. Do as of 2024. What specific metric was he referring to? Let's see if that'll get us. CJ said, I'm just an honest citizen from Michigan. I think Whitmer has done a good job with our economy, keeping our prices as low as possible, keeping our employment as high as possible. Healthcare, good, net economic. Well, there you go. So, in the conversation, he was referring to the state level fiscal result. Okay. The overall budgetary position of the state of Michigan. Okay, so where does that fall in relation to the other states in the same time period? Just so we got, because I mean, if like she said, she's been balancing things, looking good, but if they're still like the lowest state, I know that they're not, but just saying theoretically, if they're the lowest state, like, okay, it's still good, but it gives us a little bit more context. So here's how Michigan's net negative $1.3 billion fiscal position stacks up against other states. So most states were not net negative in fiscal year 24. According to the available fiscal reports, most states reported budget surpluses or positive net positions heading into 2024 following pandemic-era revenue gains. All right. Michigan's negative balance was unusual. 1.3 net results indicates is expenditures or commitments outplaced revenues, placing it among the minority of states with a net negative fiscal balance at the time. By contrast, most states did not record a deficit. So again, we're seeing that, okay, she's pulling it together. But most states had either a balanced or net positive. So most U.S. states were positive thanks to strong revenues. Michigan's net negative of $1.3 billion was on the deficit side relative to only states. Only a small number of states historically run regular deficits or structurally negative positions over multi-year periods. The typical state runs at least a small surplus in a given fiscal year. So, again, like we said, all right, not bad. Improvement is always good. It's not like she was the first person to be in charge of Michigan, but it doesn't mean they're not doing good. Warehouse said, is it the financial bottom? It's a financial bottom line of the state, essentially the amount of money flowing out. Shout out to Mighty Starlock. Welcome. I live in Michigan and had to deal with Stretchin' Gretchen. Oh, where does that name come from? Is it just the kidnapping thing, or did she hear that before? I police my own wallet, not the government's. Well, we definitely should, because guess where government's money comes from? Your wallet. Trump withheld federal funding that a significant possibility. What? Historically? Well, I mean, I would imagine, yeah, I'm not familiar with this either. I would imagine that ever since, all the car manufacturers shut down, they've been, just not doing well. Shout out to No Name. Welcome to the party. Very good to see ya. All right, so still net negative, while most states are positive or balanced, but they're making headway.
Yeah.
Of the state of Michigan, it is still negative $1.3 billion. Now that's like assets owned and then commitments that is required spending. So yes, we're running a surplus.
Equality over on Rumble said, why does CJ think the government is doing that? Did she create those jobs? It's a good question. Are these private sector jobs? Are these government jobs? Are these companies that were subsidized in some way? Good question.
Commitments that is required spending. So yes, we're running a surplus, or at least we're breaking even. But overall, in general, we are still in a negative net position. So negative net worth, essentially, if we're translating from someone's household to the government of Michigan. How do we feel about that?
I'm not
Trump bad.
I don't love it.
It's the terrorist.
I don't love the fact that we've built a budget based on some expectations from the federal government that right now with the shutdown, we don't know what is going to happen and what's not going to
Trump bad.
happen. We've got
Did you vote? Did you vote for the I don't even remember what the fuck it was. Was it the healthcare bill or the big beautiful bill? Whatever the fuck it was that they wouldn't vote on. Did you vote on it, Gretchen?
a lot of folks who get food.
I mean, obviously, not her specifically, but I mean, did she advocate that her representative sign
benefits from the feds that the money's not coming in? So, I mean, this is, I think, a really lousy position to be in. What we can control, we try to make sure that we get our budgets done on time and that they're balanced, but there are a lot of things that we can't control. And so we've got to have enough flexibility to make decisions along the way in our budgets.
And when it comes to spending, Health and Human Services is $35.57 billion, or 44% of the spending in the state of Michigan.
All right. So what are we looking at? So HHS is at $35 billion. Does that mean, okay, this is the total breakdown. So 44% Health and Human Services. Then education is 31%. Next biggest looks like transportation at 6.8, and then 4.3 general government, labor, commerce, and regulatory at 3, conservation, recreation, and agriculture at 1.8, and tied with tax credits. So again, would be nice to have a little bit of a comparison to other states, because I don't necessarily know what the breakdown are of other states, but let's see how they pull it together.
$35.57 billion, or 44% of the spending in the state of Michigan. If we're talking food stamps, let's just say, or food assistance, I used to be, I mean, I still am. I want people to have assistance who need assistance, especially those that fall back. It's a safety net, right?
Yep.
Safety. I've had so many people on this show now, and I know we get the worst of the worst. It is. Not you, I'm sorry. Like, your personal finances are probably okay?
Yeah, they're
Freudian slip. Oh, yeah, I'm sure they're fine. I'm sure you're rolling in it, Gretchen.
To the worst. It is. Not you, I'm sorry. Like, your personal finances are probably okay?
Yeah, they're in pretty good shape.
No.
What do you mean? Fascism is everything that they don't like. They know exactly what it means. Welcome to the party.
Not you, I'm sorry. Like, your personal finances are probably okay?
Yeah, they're in pretty good shape.
Nice. Okay, so, but I've had so many people on the show where they are specifically choosing to not go work more hours because then they'll be taken off benefits. And I'm wondering, even though
that's super, super common. And when we talk about the changes to things like SNAP and EBT, that is a very relevant factor. If you make this much money and then you make $1 more, you lose all those benefits. So it actually does make sense to keep your wage lower.
I want to support people who fall on hard times, obviously, because they're human beings.
Yeah.
Have we set up our systems in a way, let's say the state of Michigan, where we're also just discouraging people from going out there and being contributors?
Yup.
Yeah. Well,
all right, at least she said it.
That is an obscene and I think rare example of where the system is not perfect, right?
What's a rare example?
That we want to incentivize work. We want people to be gainfully employed and not reliant on state funding. But we recognize that there are a lot of people who right now are struggling to just take care of their daily needs, their family's needs.
So we'll just give them money and that will fix everything, right? Shout out to Warehouse Junkie with the $2. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So very, very much. And of course, every donation comes with a treat for the Overlord. We want to take a little side quest, do we? A little side quest? All right, let's see. Her net worth over time. So I'm trying to think, do we want to go Google or do we want to go AI? Let's just start with how much she's worth now. Really? Oh, sorry, Kim. So, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer reported as of 2023 included over 1.6 million in stock market index funds and roughly not quite $1 million in retirement accounts. The salary is $159K. What's the? Give me the bottom line. Give me the bottom line. All right. So then, so that's our baseline. How well can you track Gretchen over the course of her career? What do we got? Let's see what we got. Let's see. Too much. There we go. Possibly only in rough approximations. Fine. So she was worth $1 million, almost $2 million. Oh yeah. So they're all putting that together. So okay, she started about 2.2, 2.3, and then if we, everything is going up, net total 2.9 to 3. She lost money, but she didn't disclose salary. Then 2024 back to 2.3. These are public estimates from non-official aggregators, but these vary widely and should be treated as less reliable. Some estimate net worth increasing steadily from 2021 from 8.4 million to 2025 at 14 million. So she's got, it looks like a pretty standard rate of increase, which is essentially what we would expect. Yeah. So look at that. And this is the wait, why is it saying even from 2022, if it's saying 2.5 to 2.6, where are they getting that number of, did you say 8 million? Where was it? Where the fuck did it go? Did I misread that? Did we not just see 8 million? Okay, yeah, here. So where, if this is saying 8 million and 14 million, how does that line up with what is saying here? Because it's not saying income. Even if you add all that up, that's barely 14 million. I don't know. Weird. But hey, she rolling in it. She's a millionaire, and she started rich. Now she got richer. Thank you, sir, for the $2. Very, very much appreciated. Let's dive back in.
People who right now are struggling to just take care of their daily needs, their family's needs. So that's why this is important. I understand that you've had people suggest that you could move to Michigan and get some benefits that you can't get elsewhere. That's just not true. And I wanted to go out of my way to address.
The fact that you brought that up, again, we're going to have to go do a search there. But let me just finish the banner here. Adding our boy Warehouse Junkie. Thank you so very, very much. We also got Morgan's Hammer in the building. Welcome. Again, said like and shared again. Thank you so very, very much. Again, guys, it is free, it is easy, and it helps out the channel so very, very much. And it doesn't even matter if you think anybody's going to click on the link. Just hit the share, and it will tell the platform, show this to more people. Welcome. Just say masturbation, goddammit. The kids like their slang, right? Fascist is the go-to insult in a leftist vocabulary, like degenerate is to the crucible. Bars.
Michigan and get some benefits that you can't get elsewhere. That's just not true. And I wanted to go out of my way to address that. Okay.
Wow.
Oh, wait. Okay. So in the interview, she said that, let's just fucking do this. No, we want that. No, not that. Where's the actual thing? No, we can't do that. All right. In their interview, she referenced something about people coming to Michigan to get specific benefits, and she said that's not true. But that sounds kind of shady. What is she talking about? And do people report moving to Michigan specifically for these benefits? Let's see. Because, again, the fact that Caleb didn't say anything about it, she randomly brought that up. She randomly was like, well, this is definitely not happening. Shady. I wouldn't have even questioned it. See, this is what I want. All right. What she's talking about in public remarks, she's pushed back against political narratives claiming that people are relocating to Michigan primarily to obtain government welfare benefits such as Medicaid, SNAP, and unemployment. Whitmer has denied that in-migration for government handouts is a real measurable driver of population movement to Michigan. Instead, she frames migration as driven by jobs, opportunity, and quality of life and economic growth. Is there evidence for people moving to Michigan for benefits? Most major public benefits are tied to residence requirements rather than providing immediate benefits to new arrivals. And particularly undocumented immigrants are generally not eligible for Medicaid and SNAP. Okay, ChatGPT. Opponents assert that liberal states attract benefit-seeking residents, but these claims are often based on anecdote or political framing rather than systematic data. While the topic gets political, the question of whether people relocate for benefits tends to come up in culture war or fiscal debates. Opponents of a governor's policies might exaggerate the role of welfare programs as a magnet for out-of-state benefit seekers, even when migration data doesn't support it. Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, people are people, and people are going to act on incentives. And if there are, even if it's a federal thing, if you can more easily get it in Michigan than Texas, why would we think that people aren't doing that? And again, the fact that she just said, yeah, no, that's not happening. That's sus. So it's taking into account that a lot of people believe Gretchen does not fully report her net worth. Well, I mean, what did we just see? It was saying 2.2 million, 2.5 million, and then all of a sudden she's worth $14 million. Like, what? Trans women indeed are not women. Welcome to the party. Yeah, exactly. Equality is that. I call bullshit on ChatGPT. I agree. You got to know that it's going to have good information on the information. But when it comes to the interpretations, not as good.
So you can't get elsewhere. That's just not true. And
there we go. It's the wording. Listen to what she says.
Needs, their family's needs. So that's why this is important. I understand that you've had people suggest that you could move to Michigan and get some benefits that you can't get elsewhere. That's just not.
That you can't get elsewhere. No, the claim is that you can get them much more easily in your state. Oh, these fucking politicians are gonna politic.
Not true. And I wanted to go out of my way to address that. Okay.
Wow.
Because, we're all playing by the same federal rules. And so every state should be.
Are we though?
The same on those fronts. But, we have different.
Should be, again, very specific wording.
And so every state should be the same.
Should be, but it's not.
Those fronts. But, we have different interpretations, different applications. Some of us make it easier to apply, et cetera. But I think that that's something worth highlighting.
Now, my big concern when I look through the finances of the state of Michigan is the funding ratio.
Yeah, it's coming. But right now, I mean, ChatGPT is not that big of a deal. But when we look at like the videos and stuff, I'm not excited.
Now, my big concern when I look through the finances of the state of Michigan is the funding ratio. for the pension.
Michigan's next budget is on Governor Gretchen Whitmer's desk.
And the primary focus of the budget, as it always is public education.
The move in the lame duck session is aimed at bringing greater financial stability to troubled districts.
This is much less than the last fiscal year.
We're talking about an unfunded liability of about $27 billion, but a good chunk of that doesn't make it to the classroom.
The state ranks 44th in the nation when it comes to starting pay.
The average starting salary for Michigan teachers was $41,645. That's around $4,800 less than the national average.
There's not a lot of economic incentive to pursue a career in teaching.
The budgeting could result in layoffs in the upcoming year.
We're talking 74.83% is adequately funded for what is needed to fund for the entire state pension. I would love to hear your perspective on this. Now, I will give a W. That's gone up from 66.3% last year to 74% this year.
Okay. Again, interesting. We always want to see progress. But so I asked, how does Michigan's public education rank compared to other states? I think they were talking about pay. But on recent news rankings, Michigan places in the lower tier nationally for K-12 education quality compared to other states. 44th in education overall. Yikes. The National Report Card Michigan performance varies by subject. And for example, ranked 44th in fourth grade reading. Okay, I thought there was going to be a comparison. Analyses comparing Michigan school districts to similar school districts in high-performing states like Connecticut, Massachusetts, Minnesota, and New Jersey. How many of you went to a blue ribbon high school? They show the majority of Michigan districts underperform in key areas such as math, reading, graduation rates, and then, the spending, lots of spending. Hopefully they'll go into that specifically. But again, there's only 50 states. So if you're 44, not good. Shout out to Behave. Welcome to the party. There we go. There's a bunch of good emojis that show up on StreamYard. Welcome to the party. We are grilling Gretchen Whitmer.
From 66.3% last year to 74% this year. But that is still very far away from mandatory that needs to be handed out. And honestly, the gain has only been caught up through market recovery.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
Setter said, how to read? They suck. How to steal hubcaps off a moving van? Brilliant. They excel.
We've got a state treasurer, Rachel Eubanks, who I think does a fantastic job. We've made a lot of headway on whether it's paying down debt or increasing our rating, but there still is more work to do. There's no question. Pensions have been an important.
So there's more work to be done means, you didn't really do what I wanted to do.
Tool in getting people to go into public service.
Yes.
And we saw with the Detroit bankruptcy about 10 years ago that all the pensioners ended up not getting fully what they expected to when they worked for the city of Detroit for as many years as they did. So
how's the water? How's the water in Flint?
Oh, these pension systems can be unwieldy, but we have a duty to fund them.
Okay, and so again, begs the question: what are you going to do? Raises the question: what are you going to do to fund them? We just raise taxes on everybody? Are we going to move things around? What exactly are we doing? They said, I went to LA public school. I suck at math, spelling, grammar. I'm self-taught for the most part. I don't specifically have any experience with LA schools, but just in general, yeah, public school has gone by the wayside. I think it already, by its nature, was not necessarily the best structure, but it worked well enough. And then you hit real life, but then it's had these carryover effect throughout the generations where it just ain't working. Grown ass people not being able to read. And, we talk about the rates of illiteracy. Illiteracy doesn't mean that when you see English, you just don't understand and it looks like hieroglyphics. Being illiterate can also mean that you can read out the words and then have no idea what the fuck you just read. That is functionally being illiterate. And I think they say that's about a fourth or sixth grade level or something like that. Let's ask him. Well, let's ask. So we'll do. I heard that in America, it is essentially super common for people to only have like a fourth or sixth grade reading level. Is that accurate? Oh, I didn't want to end it. Wow. Okay, take two. I heard that adults all across America, are essentially unable to read, maybe have a fourth to sixth grade reading level. Is this true?
As of 2024, about 54% of U.S. adults read below a sixth grade level, meaning that more than half of the adult population struggles with literacy skills expected of young children. This literacy
children. Oh, sorry, I forgot. I was sorry. Can you just repeat what you were saying after you said young children? The literacy gap impacts things like.
Of course, the literacy gap impacts things like the ability to understand complex instructions, engage with health information, navigate the job market, and participate fully in civic life. It can also affect economic opportunities and overall quality of life.
Yikes. What was the numbers? 54%. 54%. That is more than half. More than half. Shout out to Full Metal Chad. Welcome. Said, I went to a public school in New England, and we had to read like 5 or 6 novels a year in English class. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, I graduated in 2008, and that was just part of English class. Like this month or this quarter, maybe, we had this novel, and then, maybe we read some short stories in between, and then you got more books. And I remember being frustrated because in the younger grades, the reading the actual book would be part of the class. And so, you might take, it might take a quarter of the class to just go around and, read a page or a paragraph or whatever. Not and doing all of the reading in class, but kind of get you in there. And then it just switched to like, okay, go home and read this. And it took me a little bit of a switch because I gathered a lot from what we would read in class and then kind of not really do much reading at home, and then, do well enough on the test that, I didn't care. Like I was not a great student, but, I was able to pass with mostly B's, a few C's there, definitely some A's, but not too common. And yeah, once it was read this on your own, I just didn't, it's not like I didn't have the ability. I just would read the page and be like, what is happening? I have to read it over and over and over. Yeah, that's how we got by. Clip Notes and Spark Notes. There you go. Dave said, I wasn't able to read until almost 10. My mom gave me a bunch of classic books. That's where I fell in love with reading. Yeah, I remember when before reading was a big thing in school, like, let's say pre-4th grade. I used to love reading. I remember like the Magic Treehouse books, Animorphs, a little early on was Captain Underpants. Like I used to love reading, and then I don't know if it is specifically the books themselves, because I know a lot of people love Catcher in the Rye and what's the other one I'm thinking of? The lawyer one, Boo Radley broke his arm, fell out of the tree. The Mockingbird book, whatever. A lot of people like those books, but it either is the books themselves or the way they are presented that just turned me off of reading entirely. It wasn't until I got back into college and was forced to read and study much harder than I did in high school that I was like, okay, we got to get these wheels turning. Yeah, man. Shout out to Nate. Said, I still can't read, bro. Don't worry about it. That is all right. You are within the majority. As we just see, about 54% of U.S. adults read below a 6th grade level, meaning more than half of the adult population struggles with literacy skills expected of young children. So, no bueno. And then you have, put a 1 in the chat if you have not seen that guy, Kai Cenat, doing reading online. So he's one of these IRL kick streamers. And he just decided, I'm going to start streaming myself reading because I'm not very good at it. And so he's reading, and he has a dictionary. Every time he doesn't find, or every time he does find a word that he doesn't know, he's looking it up. And people are making fun of him. I'm like, okay, yes, it's funny, objectively, in a vacuum, that a grown man is having trouble with basic ass words. But on the principle of it, like, yo, dude's trying to better himself. And this is someone that young kids look to and pay attention to and take their ideas from. So, hey, sounds good to me. All right, let's dive back in.
They worked for like the city of Detroit for as many years as they did. So these pension systems can be unwieldy, but we have a duty to fund them.
Sure. I mean, the pension system being $24.4 billion underwater is 5 times the annual K through 12 school aid fund contribution. So it's going to take a long time to close the gap. And then also with a retiree to active ratio of 1 to 3, it's a little scary.
Well, I mean, we all were. That's how we learned to read. And some people learned a little bit more quickly, and some it took a little bit more studying and practicing. But that's how you learn to read.
What would you do to fix it?
What do I'm curious. I know you've done a ton of research here. How do we stack up? What are you seeing things that other states are doing that we should learn from?
I'll be honest. I was just pulling data from the state of Michigan and hyper focusing on state of Michigan.
Yeah.
Because even when it comes to a lot of the guests on the show,
let's just in case. Well, I'm gonna try because we looked at one the other day and it was just him reading and not anything specific. But let's see.
Spontaneity.
Yeah, this is what I was looking for the other day. Because the other day we were, I tried to look for one, and it was just like a clip of him actually reading. And yeah, he read slow, but it didn't show what it wanted. So of course the tweet here said, "Try some Toni Morrison books, friend. That's expanded my vocabulary, my descriptiveness, and just softened my heart a little bit." She pulls out words you've never heard of, and so people are like digging this. People are down with this, but a lot of people are projecting and hating.
Spontaneity. How do I pronounce that?
We all did this. Now, when you were 8, everyone around you was having trouble like this. So it didn't seem like anything.
Oftentimes when I don't know what a word is pronounced, I get to look at how it's pronounced and what it even means. Spontaneity. The condition of being spontaneous. Spontaneity.
Homeschooling is way better. And especially now, again, we see most adults can't read what we expect of young children. Take your kids out of public schools if you can at all costs. At all costs.
Spontaneity. And spontaneity of life. Hardly such questions set up a false what does that mean?
Dichotomy? False dichotomy? That's my guess.
Dichotomy.
Got him!
A false dichotomy. What does that mean? A dichotomy. A division or contrast between two things that are or represented as being opposed or entirely different.
Right. So when we use the false dichotomy in debate and stuff, it means that you're setting up two options when those are not the only two options. It's a dichotomy, but it's not actually a dichotomy, so it's a false dichotomy.
Repeated branching into two equal dichotomy.
And then, and he'll learn and he'll get better, and that's good. We want people doing that in general, and specifically these streamers that are doing all of the degen shit. How you gonna hate on that?
Focusing on state of Michigan.
Yeah.
Because even when it comes to a lot of the guests on the show, I try not to sit there and endlessly compare them to other people.
Right.
I take a look at their situation. I'm like, okay, here's things that aren't good. What can we do to fix it? Now, fixing a pension, that is not my expertise. But I would absolutely love to hear, kind of what you would do. If you had the dictatorial stamp in the state of Michigan, how would you fix this pension underfunding ratio?
And then again, so like, how many of you know what the question is? Hear it again. How many of you know what he is asking?
But I would absolutely love to hear, kind of what you would do if you had the dictatorial stamp.
If you had the dictatorial stamp
in the state of Michigan, how would you fix this pension underfunding ratio?
So even take out the what it is that's being fixed. If you have the dictatorial stamp of Michigan, how would you fix X? Does anybody know what that means? And so the idea is that I personally think that a lot of my vocabulary, because like I said, from high school, I'm not really a reader like that, but I'm always listening to people talking, and I have always had the captions on. So it's now everything has captions. Back in the day, even if you were hanging out with people and you had the captions, you'd be like, bro, why you got that so distracting? Blah 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 blah. But just with TikTok and all that stuff, it became a lot more common. But from when I was a little kid, like I've told this story a little bit before, but my mom always made me do at least 1 hour of review of what we were doing from the time I was in middle school. And I happened to be a little bit more, let's say I was in the upper percentiles of most of my K through 12. I'm not some fucking super genius, but I don't need to fucking relearn what I just learned today in 6th grade. So I would take that time, and I had my PSP, or once my brother went to college, I got to move into his room, which had a TV, but I wasn't allowed to watch TV. So I put the TV on mute and I'd have the captions on, and that's how it started for me. And I was just always reading what I was listening to, and again, just hearing when you don't know what a word is. Look it up. The more words that you look up, the more words you'll be able to learn without having to look them up. Nobody knows what a dictatorial stamp means? Shout out to Porky the Booty Bandit. Welcome. Well, dilly to you. Thank you so very, very much. Put a 1 in the chat if you know what he means by dictatorial stamp. I'm going to be surprised if none of you know what it means. I feel like you guys just don't want to type it out. Or what do you think it means? I got all day, baby. Somebody give me something. Is this thing on? Is there anybody there? Hello? Dictatorial stamp. Do you know what it means? Somebody's got to say something. I could sit here. I'm chilling. There we go. Thank you. So, Morgoth's Hammer said, I know, but Warehouse said, I've got no clue what the hidden meaning is, English teacher. So I don't know if it's a hidden meaning. It's just a larger word. And so they're talking about how, the public schools are not doing well, and the pension situation. And so what he's asking,
dictatorial.
If you had the dictatorial stamp, dictatorial means of a dictator. So you would be able to say, think of executive orders, but like from an actual dictator. So you'd be able to, essentially, yeah. And so, but the dictatorial part means like, okay, you can be a dictator. And so the question is, barring the bureaucracy and, well, you couldn't actually do this because, you got to do that and you got to get these people on board. But essentially saying, in a perfect world, how do you fix this? In a perfect world, how do you fix this? That's what he's asking. And so, again, if you understand the base of dictate, meaning to say something, and a dictator being saying something that everybody has to follow it, then dictatorial means relating to being a dictator.
But I would absolutely love to hear, kind of what you would do. If you had the dictatorial stamp in the state of Michigan, how would you fix this pension underfunding ratio?
So if you could do anything in the world, how would you fix this underfunding ratio?
Well, at the end of the day, right, I don't get to have a dictatorial ability to.
I just asked if anybody knew what it meant.
To fix every problem that I see. And I think that's not how it should be, frankly. I got to work with the legislature to have policies that make sense that everyone can live with. And right now I've got a Republican House and a Democratic-controlled Senate. I think that we did a lot of good things in this last budget that we got done, whether it is cutting taxes on overtime and tips like the House Republican leadership wanted to do. It's similar to what President Trump has done on the national level, or it is investing in kids and newborn health that was a Senate priority. We got a lot of good stuff done, but there's always going to be additional work to do to shore up as we think long-term, especially as we've got so many public servants who are aging.
Yes.
And
so now you're listing problems. Remember, the question was, how would you fix this?
Are going to be relying on this. So how can I fix it overnight? I can't fix it.
Oh man, these politicians are good. How would I fix it overnight? Well, obviously I can't fix it overnight. What, did he say overnight? No. He said if you had the powers of a dictator, how would you fix it?
Yes.
And are going to be relying on this. So how can I fix it overnight? I can't fix it overnight.
Not overnight,
I recognize that it's an important part of a long-term solution that we got to continue to strive toward.
Well, what is the steps to put in for the long-term solution, though, to fix the pension?
And first, as you said, we were in a stronger position than we were, and a lot of that's been driven by the market.
Yes.
So we'll take it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do we ensure that we're putting more resources in?
Yep, that's the question.
We've got our MIPSers, which is our school employees retirement. That is going to be coming offline in a few years because we're getting up to full funding there. And so that is one additional mechanism that we'll have to put toward additional retirement
Fair
dollars.
enough.
So my concern when it comes to, I know that's not a retirement plan for everyone in Michigan. It's,
Right.
the employees for the state. But when it comes to, especially on the federal level, entitlement programs that are put in, I'm a big fan, a lot of the concept of a lot of them. But one thing that we at least find within the last 100 years, if a big entitlement is put in, it's impossible to get rid of. And my fear with, like a pension plan like this, right, is it's so attached, people are going to be very patriotic about it who are, state employees.
Mm-hmm.
But if it is not a sustainable system, it's going to be borderline impossible to tweak in a significant enough way to change it.
Right. So he's saying, think about what we just experienced with the cutting SNAP benefits and all that stuff. People feel entitled to the things that they have. And so even if it's already an entitlement that that the government is giving you, they feel like, well, I'm owed this. And it's like, no, you're not. Not even a little bit.
Or even get rid of, kind of like Social Security. It's not going to work for my generation. I'm going to get a substantially less amount of money.
Yep.
And that sucks. And it's going to be much more on the level of a literal Ponzi. It's not right now. Because right now, money coming in, it's not fully dependent on money coming in. By the time I retire, it's going to be fully dependent on money coming in. So that's what makes me nervous about the pension system.
Well, I think to be clear, no, people aren't getting pensions now, right? Like this is not a long-term issue that we're seeing continued in terms of policy.
Mm-hmm.
Previous governors and legislators got into the pension system. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for 25 years. So
well, you're going to be president, so we don't have to worry about it.
Well,
Do you think she could be president? Do we have a poll up? I forget what I even asked. Is Gretchen Whitmer among the worst Democrats? Split 60-40. 68% of you said yes, she is among the worst. But 40 said no. Interesting. So let's, what the fuck was you saying?
And legislators got into the pension system. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for 25 years. So
well, you're going to be president.
Oh, yeah, president. We'll say... no, that's too broad. I was going to say, could she be president? Do you think? I'll just say, do you think she will do well running for president? What you thinking?
the pension system. I'm not.
Yeah.
And I've been doing this for 25 years. So
well, you're going to be president, so we don't have to worry about it.
Well, we're phasing out is what I'm saying. So as you think about like, how is this sustainable over the long run? It's not going to be as big an issue for us in the long run because it's not available to people.
That's good. Now, spending, 44% goes to health and human services, as we said, 31% to education, transportation, 6.8%. And I know that was a big thing for you. I remember Fix the Damn Roads when I still lived there.
Yes, sir.
4.3% to the general government, public and safety corrections, 3.81%. I assume most of public safety is locally funded. Revenue sharing, 1.67 billion. Tax credits, 1.46. And I do have a little bit.
And this is the same chart we looked at before.
To talk about that as we continue to go through this. And then just some smaller ones in general. And then, when it comes in, and I would love to actually learn more about this. When it comes to the revenue, and we got operational grants is $33 billion. General taxes, $21 billion. Education, $16 billion. And transportation, $3.7 billion. Go into operating grants.
All right. Behave's not excited about JD Vance. Who else should we put up? Who else should we put up? Now, again, it's a long time. 3 years is a long time. Let's not forget how many people, especially when it's an open primary, how many people just pop out of the woodwork. So, I mean, obviously, as VP, he's going to be, at the top from the starting line. But I think we're going to see a decent number of people that, can maybe wiggle their way to the top. I think, if Trump wasn't in the 2024 election, like let's say he won 2020 and then it was open. We had Vivek out there, we had Tulsi out there, we had RFK out there, and without Trump, I don't know how well galvanized people would be around an individual, like one individual, meaning the different camps. I don't know. We'll see.
16 billion on transportation, 3.7 billion. Go into operating grants. I love to kind of learn a little bit more about that personally. As I was sitting there thinking about how revenue is collected from the state.
Operating grants where? Do you have a specific department question? Or?
Well, as we're just pulling in like where the money is coming into the state.
Oh,
a big chunk operational grants. Maybe through everything I was pulling from the state's websites, it just wasn't specific enough. But I was like, what is this? I'm so curious. Maybe she could answer it for me.
Yeah, I'm going to. I don't want to guess off the top of my head and be wrong. But
yeah, fair enough.
Government activity revenues.
Totally good.
It could be a variety of things. And it's probably a lot of a variety of things.
And we already talked about the net position, but when it comes to the school.
You didn't have to say that. That's what's implied when you said you're obsessed with someone and say a lot of good things.
Aid fund that has a balance, but it is restricted for education of $4.45 billion. What's interesting about this, and I'd love to hear your perspective, is there's controversial things that are funding a big part of it. They got weed, which is interesting. I was much more in favor of legalization many years ago, but so many studies have been coming out these last few years about just kind of overall effects on people. Less it's not like shaky dependency, but many.
Yeah, but that's what, again, wait. I'm not even going to.
Things you do when you smoke every day are no longer as enjoyable when you stop smoking, and just some overall health effects. I mean, if you're putting things in your lungs in general, it's usually not great for you.
The state releases annual.
That's not the point of it. The point is liberty. Nobody's saying it's healthy for you, but that's not what it's about.
Marijuana tax revenue totals yesterday.
$270 million.
Mainly because of the marijuana dollars. We've got about $1 million of work planned just in road improvements.
Outside the state capitol, supporters of the cannabis industry gathered to fight a proposed 24% tax on marijuana.
A 24% wholesale tax on marijuana.
Actually looks pretty good, though. That sure looks pretty good, though.
Is set to begin in January, part of a long-term plan to fund road construction in the state budget.
Over the last few years, the city's been able to take a much more aggressive approach in repairing them, filling in the potholes thanks to pot taxes.
The $42 million in revenue comes just from recreational sales and is being split among communities that allow these sales, thanks to Michigan's Taxation of Marijuana Act.
So there is
Sounds good to me.
That brings in $33.1 million. Then there's sports betting and iGaming. Combined gross receipts, $2.86 to $2.9 billion. But the state taxes and fees is $466. There's
not good pot, just the potholes.
There's a lot of dependency issues, especially on gambling and things like that. How do you feel that so much of school is being funded through blazing it up and going and blowing all that money?
Yeah.
Hey, I mean, if we don't have children doing it, we have adults making their own decisions, buying what they want to buy, regardless of how it is directly affecting their life. If it's not destroying their life and it's not putting them in danger of hurting other people, that's America, baby.
Well, you know what? I don't love that we see, a lot of gaming funding our schools, et cetera. But at the end of the day, people are engaging in the conduct, and every state taxes it and, operates budgets based on whatever taxes they collect.
She said gaming. Did she switch to gambling, or why did she say gaming?
Our sales taxes also help fund our schools. Our sales taxes are lower than they are here in Texas. So
yes, but we don't have income
to make up what the difference is, right? Like there are legislatures and
would you rather, if you only got one, of course Jersey got both, but if you only had either income tax or sales tax, which one would you take?
Governors past have selected different things to include in the school aid fund. It's not like I came into office and said, all right, this is how we're going to start doing it. But you got to recognize that sin taxes are always the easiest taxes for legislators to take votes on, and that's generally why we see them continuing to fund things like schools and everything else in state government.
Well, people would say and advocate for it that it hurts the lower income the most.
That's not wrong.
Yeah.
And yet, I think that that's one piece of the education budget.
Yeah. Okay. That's what I was saying. That gaming is a family-friendly word for gambling. They don't want to make. They want to make it socially acceptable for kids. Well, every streamer that has some type of gambling fucking sponsor now. But yeah, that's models are getting to it. I'm just a little confused because I just thought we were talking about the taxes from cannabis, and then she's like, well, gaming. All right. Morgan said I would take no income tax. I think that's the better option. No income tax is better than no sales tax, because you can control what you buy a little bit more easily than you can control what you make. Right?
Yeah.
And yet, I think that that's one piece of the education budget. But by and large,
it's about a fourth.
It's 2 cents out of our 6 cent sales tax goes to our schools too.
Yeah. Okay. And then as we continue there, the school stabilization fund is $1.3 billion. So, I mean, the overall school funding tends to look relatively healthy, but there is a lot of kind of restricted spending. So 1.3 is stabilization and countercyclical of $477 million, but 4.46 is restricted into education, which I think is good. At least we're not going in and tapping it, right?
Right. Well, we just created that.
We're not going what?
Into education, which I think is good. At least we're not going in and tapping it, right?
Right. Well,
I have no idea what that means. What?
Look, 0.3 is stabilization and countercyclical of $477 million, but 4.46 is restricted into education, which I think is good. At least we're not going in and tapping it, right?
Right.
What does that mean? Going in and tapping it? I have no idea what that means. Maybe the potholes are getting to me.
Right. Well, we just created that in the last 2 years,
Yeah.
the stabilization fund, because I know it's important that you've got like a savings fund in case some unforeseen thing happens, and who God only knows, right? Like the last 7 years, if they've taught me anything, is that there could be some new thing around the bend that you're not anticipating. So we've got a rainy day fund or a budget stabilization fund. For the rest of the budget, I wanted to create one for schools because I think it's really important that we've got additional resources. So,
and that's what's next.
Yeah.
Tapping into it for other things. But so okay, so what's the implication of that?
Is that there could be some new thing around the bend that you're not anticipating. So we've got a rainy day fund or budget stabilization fund. For the rest of the budget, I wanted to...
Gotcha. Okay. So you're saying that there's a stabilization fund that's like a just in case, kind of like when we were in, if you're north of the Mason-Dixon line, then they would build snow days into the school year. So that, like when you're planning your summer vacation, everything, you plan it, after the 28th or whatever, even though school is probably going to end on the 26th. If you get 3 snow days, then that's already built into the calendar. Is that essentially what we're talking about? I'm talking refers to withdrawing. Well, yeah, I get that, but I meant I didn't fully understand what he was saying. What the stabilization fund was. All right, I think we're all on the same page now. I see what I mean there. Keeping it for education and not using it for other things. No, I think you're right. I didn't fully understand the first time around. And so what did we do? We just went back and listened again. Tying it back to this Kai Cenat shit.
So we've got a rainy day fund or budget stabilization fund. For the rest of the budget, I wanted to create one for schools because I think it's really important that we've got additional resources. So
and that's what's next.
Yeah.
This is a good chart.
What's that?
This is a good chart. The rainy day fund.
Yeah. See?
And it's only going up. COVID took a little hit. Okay,
COVID
fair enough.
It was hard.
Yeah, it was a little, I'll be honest. I was a little annoyed when I came home for Christmas 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
Like we had to eat outside, but we were in inside pods.
All right, here we go. This is in my wheelhouse. When we're talking about all the fucking COVID restrictions, I can't wait to see or hear how she's going to defend this. I'm going to assume that she's going to say something along, well, we were just following the experts. We were just following the science. We were just doing I'm betting you it's some bullshit like that.
Like we had to eat outside, but we were in inside pods outside. It was a little weird. Then I came back here and then I could just do whatever.
Well,
that was a bit weird. I'll be honest.
Well,
and then of course, Michigan did so much better with sickness rates with COVID, right?
But remember what the temperature was. Here, you can walk around outside all day, right? At home.
But
that's completely not the point at all, Gretchen. That's not the point at all. I think if it was reversed and that you could go inside and eat wherever in Michigan and you had to eat outside in Texas, not to say it's always pleasant outside, it might not be freezing cold, but it can get fucking hot. So what are we talking about? Coping already.
And then I could just do whatever.
Well,
that was a bit weird. I'll be honest.
Well, but
weird.
But remember what the temperature was. Here, you can walk around outside all day, right? At home.
But if I could
Michigan in the winter, we're all inside.
I mean, yes, I think it is for stuff like that, but I'm willing to give some leeway on the degree to which COVID was an unexpected thing. Like, unexpected things are, the power goes out or a fucking train derails or something. And you just got to throw some money at it and it's good. The whole fucking world shut down. Did it need to shut down? That's a different question that I hope Caleb asks. But, we'll give a little bit of leeway for people not necessarily predicting that the world will be shut down. Well, except for Fauci.
Right? At home,
but if I could
in Michigan in the winter, we're all inside breathing on each other.
But if I was allowed to be inside outside, why couldn't I just be inside?
Because reasons.
Because you were inside outside with just your small group of people.
And the servers and bussers.
Listen, Caleb, none of us wants to go back and relive that.
That's true.
So now it's going to be like, Caleb, oh my God. We need pandemic amnesty, okay? Yeah, we all made some mistakes, but let's just move forward. No. You need to answer for this shit.
Servers and bussers.
Listen, Caleb, none of us wants to go back and relive that.
That's
we were
true.
doing the best
Please.
we could with very little or very bad information.
I'll accept that. I just remember being a little annoyed.
I'm sure.
And it was cold too. Like, what the f are people doing? It's so cold. What are we doing? Like,
your blood got thin moving down south, didn't it?
Not answering the question. Just, well, yeah.
Well, now I hate the summers. So It's fair. Yeah.
And that's all we're going to get. That's all we're going to. Well, you can walk around outside in Texas, so it's okay that we shut down the fucking world despite it not making any fucking sense. That was, you were good. You were good. Why does it matter if I'm inside, outside versus inside, inside? You're still inside. Yeah, but then you're only inside. So what? How many people do you need to catch COVID? Just one, right? None of it makes any fucking sense.
I'd like to get a place up there again on Gull Lake at some point in retirement. I love Gull Lake. Personal tax rate. There was a 2023 drop to 4.05%, but that was brought back up to 4.25%. And the Supreme Court denied an appeal on August 30th.
Income tax dropped
of last year. Were you more of a proponent of...
So the Supreme Court said you can't lower the taxes?
Keeping it at 4.05 or moving it back to that 4.25?
I was a proponent of following the law, which said I had to go back.
I think I called that. Half points for that. Half points. No air horn, but...
Back up to 4.25.
Okay. If you were able to pass a law to bring it back down to 4, would you?
If someone could tell me how we're going to fund the things that we need to fund.
Would you cut back on anything in order to fund that?
I think we've made a lot of hard cuts recently.
That's not the question! Oh my God, these politicians!
Would you cut back on anything in order?
Would you cut back on anything? Is either yes, I would cut back on... Well, you got 3 good answers here. Yes, I would cut back on some things. There's going to have to be cuts made. I'm not exactly sure where we're going to need to make those cuts, but cuts will indeed have to be made. 2, no, we don't need to do that. Or 3, yes, we're taking that, and that, and cutting it down so we have the money here.
To fund that.
I think we've made a lot of hard cuts recently. So before I would agree to take more important resources out of our budget, I'd want to know where people think they're coming from. Part of the hardship of being in this spot is at the end of the day, I got to make sure the book's balanced, right? And so it angers some people on my left, it angers some people on my right when I say, no, I don't want to look at that tax cut unless you got a solution for me. And no, I'm not going to look at the spending unless you're telling me where the money's coming from.
I'm curious if this was...
That seemed like it was cut. That seemed like a cut.
Spending unless you're telling me where the money's coming from.
I'm curious if this was, me and my obnoxious middle, and this was the this was the right, and this is the left, and let's say Bernie and Mondamia right here. Where are you?
It depends on who you ask, but I think
okay. I think again, I don't know her that well, but assuming this is the whole spectrum here, and we got. We would switch these. Mom Donnie would be over here, and Bernie would be right there. She's probably right around here. I'm just taking a guess, but I'm gonna say right around here. Maybe as far as Dasani, but once we get into the purple, I don't think so. Warehouse said, but the book isn't balanced. You're $1.3 billion negative. Warehouse, and then says she's about to lie her ass off. Right, Equality? Warehouse said that.
Mondamia right here. Where are you?
It depends on who you ask, but I think I think I'm closer to the middle.
Well, when I still live there, and you're going through the.
Oh, honey.
I think I'm closer to the.
Are you though? Come on.
Middle.
Well, when I still lived there and you're going through the primary, there was a dude with
Remember, guys, if you are on the vertical stream and you don't like it, I always pin the link to the landscape on the top of the chat. It says hate vertical, watching landscape here, and click the link, and then you'll be on the one that you want.
Like a fake toupee.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of guy. I think he's in Congress now, but he was like the progressive, far left running, and then you were the more center.
He and Abdul El Sayed, yes, were both way on the, yes.
But then
it really kind of irritated me at the beginning, to tell you the truth, because
yeah, right? That's what I was saying. Where do we go? Between the Dasani and the game subs, That sounds about right. That sounds about right. And again, I was making a guess, but I said, what did I say? I said right around here, right? And you're saying essentially the same thing. Where are we? Here. If you're too stupid, here is the landscape link. The link to the landscape stream will always be pinned to the top of the vertical stream. Why is it? Just little side quest. Just really a question. What is it that you would see that there's things like a poll and a pinned link, and you just don't look at them? They don't just appear there. Like, that's because I did a thing. So if I did a thing, maybe, just maybe, there's a reason.
Way on the
left running, and then you were the more center.
He and Abdul El Sayed, yes.
More
center. Oh, yes.
Way on the yes.
But then
it
you
really
won.
Kind of irritated me at the beginning, to tell you the truth, because I'm proud to be a very progressive former legislator.
Just using the word progressive puts you even further into the blue. Like the people who are more centrist understand that being a progressive is seen as a negative thing to a lot of the even center right people. So you ain't fucking centrist, bitch.
Seats, right? Like, I'd been in the legislature. I took lots of votes. I had an agenda, and two guys who never ran for anything ran and took all these positions and tried to make me look like I wasn't really a good Democrat. And you know what? It irritated me at the beginning, but they actually probably did me a favor because I think more people were open to hearing me out. And that's probably how I won.
But can you beat Gavin Newsom?
Nope.
In Michigan?
Nope.
Yeah.
In Michigan. Oh, the politicking. Well, I could beat him in Michigan. Bitch. So that is, I think I'll put that up for a poll. Could she beat Gavin in the primaries? Because maybe she ain't fucking gonna win no matter what. But I don't know. Gavin's definitely appealing to more moderate, default liberal type people. We'll see.
Now, one of the big percentages that money does go to, if we're bringing taxes, legally up from 4.5 to 4.25, there is the working families tax credit. And this is a redistribution type system. And I think a lot of people forget, in this country, even compared to many Western countries, our income tax system is actually towards the top of the progressive world. A lot of the funding that comes in those Western European systems, social democracies that we like, are usually value-added taxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's
I don't think that's been verified. Do we know that? I don't think we know that even close.
what kind of pays the bills, right?
Welcome
And
to the
that
party.
tends to hurt everyone, where we tend to be more progressive, where the top 1% in this country pays, I believe it's like 30% of all income taxes. The top 50% pays 48% of, or 98% of all income taxes, the top 50% of earners. So we have this where we move the taxes back up, but
do they have the, let's see, do they have the poly market? Let's see, Gavin Newsom prediction market. Let's see. Oh, wait, can you guys see this? Oh, yeah. All right. So let's see. Gavin. Oh. Democratic nominee. So we have who be the VP. The first Democrat. Okay, so Democratic nominee for president we've got the top three are Gavin Newsom, AOC, and Josh Shapiro coming in at 8%. He's got 35. Now, of course, these are just prediction markets, but I mean, that's a fucking spread. That's a fucking spread. Let's see if she's even in here. Gretchen Whitmer at 4%. Yikes. But I mean, look at she's lower than Kamala. She's lower than Kamala. Can you guys see this? There we go. There we go. Yeah. So, we got Pete Booty. I don't even know who that is. And then Whitmer, JB Pritzker down here, Rokana's cool. I don't know who any of these fucking people are. Stephen A. Smith. Shout out to Stephen A. Smith. And fuck Cory Booker. And poor Tim Walz. Oh, Tim Walz. Oh, man. So then we have who will run for Democratic presidential in 2028. That is a bit closer. Let's see. Wow. Jared Polis. Wait, what the fuck just happened? Why did that show it like that? But again, we've got the tops. Gavin Newsom at 88%. But hey, Gretchen's she's going down, but she's at 70. I don't know. It's possible. It is possible. Shout out to Grid One. Welcome to the Unreasonable Man. Very good to see you. What is going on, brother? Trying to determine how likely is it that Gavin runs and wins. Morgas Hammerson, gruesome Newscomb will be their next candidate. I really think that they will. Where said she has Michigan on lock, but not enough people know her outside of Michigan. Gavin Newsom has a reputation. Yep. Buckman said she's the empowered woman card on her side, but I feel like that's not really on your side. I feel like we're still in a place where women, especially, maybe it's not just women in general, but the fact that the women who've been up between Hillary and Kamala, people might not be ready for that. People might not be ready for that. He's selling knee pads, pretty much. Or maybe I just don't care. Maybe I just don't care that this dumb bitch has a stupid name. All right, diving back in.
So we have this where we move the taxes back up, but the state of Michigan, is handing more money out. So there's a single worker with no kids making $15,000, and the federal government might get $600 to $700.
Wait, a single worker with no kids might get
There was a
Venmo?
match of 6% of Michigan, but now we're getting up to 30%.
The earned income tax
30.
credit, that's what that is. The working families tax credit is what we're calling it now, but it was really the earned income tax credit. And this has been around for decades. A lot of states offer the EITC to draw down federal dollars for people that are working full time but can't make ends meet. Like a lot of people you have on your show, right? You've got people who are working $15 an hour jobs.
Have you seen the show, Gretchen? That's not really the case. From what I've seen, it's not that people are just not making enough money. I work to the bone. His whole thing is taquitos. You look at the credit card statement, all the gas station bullshit snacks that you're getting, going to get Starbucks and all that shit. I definitely, as a millennial, was a little bit annoyed when the rhetoric was, oh, you damn, like when we were younger, we were in the Gen Z age range. And all the boomers and Gen X were like, well, maybe if you didn't have your Starbucks and your avocado toast. Like, first of all, I'm allergic to avocado, so I've never had avocado toast in my life, and I make my own coffee. That being said, Gretchen's trying to act as if this show highlights a lot of people who simply aren't making enough money. That is not at all what this show is. This show is directly and specifically the opposite, showing people who make enough money in a lot of cases, but have terrible spending habits, saving habits, and all that stuff. So yet again, acting as if we just throw money at it. No. Shout out to Vegas. Not a problem. You rock. There we go. There you go. You don't need to hear shit for that. Buckner said she's slightly less corrupt than Hillary and slightly smarter than Kamala. 6 to 1, half a dozen the other? I don't know. Nah, Kamala's pretty dumb. She's pretty dumb. They said, I'm not a fan of voting for vagina. What is vagina gonna do for me? Will vagina be awake and ready to make decisions at 3 a.m.? Will vagina fix the economy? Maybe. But will this vagina fix it? Probably not. Oh, and my stalker is here. And again, you came into existence when I saw your name. So again, listen how she frames this. She's like, your show is all about these poor people. These poor people. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's about stupid people who spend their money in retarded ways.
Down federal dollars for people that are working full time but can't make ends meet. You know, like a lot of people you have on your show, right? You've got people who are working $15 an hour jobs, cannot make it doing that. And so this incentivizes full-time work by giving people some additional tax relief. And
well, as far as we know, she doesn't have a kill list. She definitely has a kidnap list, but I don't know about a kill list. But that is a plus.
Incentivizes full-time work by giving people some additional tax relief. And it is disproportionately, it's like over 50% supports people who are also raising kids. Mm-hmm. So it's like got that compounding benefit.
Yeah, a single parent with 2 kids making $25,000 a year would roughly get $6,800.
Shout out to Behave from Morgan's Hammer over on Rumble, saying you're one of those ultra rare rational ladies in the audience. There's a number of them. It's not just Behave. Arrow definitely wasn't into this, so she left a while ago. And shout out to Blueberry Stew. Yeah, we got a bunch of ladies with a good head on their shoulders. They're not all bad, guys. They're not all bad. Can any of them lead a country? I don't know. But could I run a country? I don't know either. But just say.
2 kids making $25,000 a year would roughly get $6,800. And now, you get that 30% match from Michigan. Now, technically, this is a form of redistribution. It is. Maybe it's with a good heart. Do you think at the end of the day, it is overall beneficial to
I love the camera pulling
economy in terms of the way we're looking for our economic structure to be created and managed?
Well, I think government at the end of the day is really about making sure that every one of us can be safe, right? Like that's the most basic of government's job is to keep people safe, but also to create the conditions where every person can thrive, right?
Hold it.
Create an economy that business people can have the workforce that they need. I mean, it's all about.
Yeah, I mean, and the this is the kind of thing that had me. It took me a while before I was somebody who's like, all right, maybe we really do need to look at the 19th Amendment, because of the fact that there are, like Warehouse is saying, there's multiple female heads of state. Fully believe his mother could be president. I don't know, but the point is that my thinking is that there's women who are smarter than me, going to be better at any of this than me, and so rolling that back and say, well, not only do we not want you in office, but you can't even vote. That seems just like a little antiquated. And then you have to understand that it's not just those women, it's women. And so while there are some amazing women, politics is just not what they're geared towards. And so even if you have all of the best women at politics doing politics in the best possible way, you still have an entire population that is just not as good. Not as good at thinking about this stuff, caring about this stuff, and focusing on this stuff. So again, this does not mean that by being a man, you're automatically better at this. Don't fucking twist my words and give me some woke shit. We're talking on the entire thing. Marcus said, Warehouse is talking about female heads of state and said, I fully believe my mother could be president. Warehouse, or Morgoth's Hammer said, Warehouse, you are biased, and the overwhelming majority of female leaders are useless or disasters. I mean, I don't think he's clearly biased towards his mom because he knows his mom. But the only thing that was stated is that there are female heads of state. I don't think I think the implication is that, hey, they're not inherently worse than the men. Like, let's remember, politicians are going to politic. They all suck at everything. But that's what I'm saying. The distinction, yeah, right. The distinction between saying all women are bad at this, so they shouldn't vote, is a different thing than saying too many women are, and again, it's not just women, too many people, but we're just talking about women right now. There's too many women who are casting an uninformed vote. And I don't know. I'm not there. I wouldn't go to a protest to say we should repeal the 19th. I wouldn't do that, but I'm certainly, what's the word? Now I got to find the right word. It's right on the tip of my tongue. What's the word I'm fucking thinking of? Conducive? No, I'm understanding of the position to repeal the 19th.
Business people can have the workforce that they need. I mean, it's all about what are our priorities and how do we make sure that all boats rise. A rising tide lifts all boats. I mean, I think that's
okay. So what's the tide? You're just saying things.
The philosophy that I've always looked at all of these policies with, and I think that it's important to have debate. I think it's important to understand some of the shortcomings of past policies and look to what others are doing and see, can we make it better? I mean, one of the things that we've done is really invest in our workforce, bringing down the cost of higher education, bringing down the cost of getting into a trade school. There was something called the Tennessee Reconnect. We, borrowed that idea, made it our own, and we've got the Michigan Reconnect, which helps people 25 and up go back to school and earn additional credentials. So, it's...
I get that this isn't a political show, and it is about the finances, but this seems like a half measure kind of thing, where it's like, okay, we're kind of talking about the finances, but we're also kind of just talking about policy and the landscape and stuff like that. I wish they would have, either gone in a direction of, okay, we're going to talk about the policies and the culture that comes from, the policies that you're enacting, or let's actually look at the fucking numbers. You spent this much, this went here, that went there. Do we need that for that? So on and so forth.
It's in all of our interest to make sure that those basics are addressed.
Tastes like this dick.
So there's also one of the more controversial things for EV holders like myself. I have a Model X, and I love it, and they hate me for it, and it's great. We have $160 a year for EVs since they're not paying, gases. They're not getting gas tax. Is it fair, especially if you're more on the clean energy side, that they're punished for not having a gas vehicle?
Hey, shout out to Dick Johnson. Welcome to the party. And we got our Morty boy right there. Welcome, sir.
So how are you punished for not having a gas vehicle?
$160 a year for EVs and $60 a year for PHEVs.
Girl math.
Actually, if you're more on the clean energy side, that they're punished for not having a gas vehicle.
So how are you punished for not having a gas vehicle?
$160 a year for EVs and $60 a year for PHEVs as well. Yeah.
Okay, so that's for a registration fee. I mean, you're still using the roads, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's
not about tolls.
We have
good here in Michigan and Texas.
We're exploring tolls. It's a little more challenging because we don't have people cutting through Michigan like we do Ohio and Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
So it's a little more challenging, but we're stuck.
Okay. So again, why? What is challenging about that? This is what I mean. It's very surface level.
And I think, we're going to explore.
We're studying and exploring and investigating and doing things.
Whether or not, there's a roadway or two or many that it might make sense.
Go to Canada. right? Cut through Michigan to go to Canada.
Yeah.
I don't know if tolls are honestly good or not, but I just, that's one of the
She's saying there's not enough traffic to justify the tolls. Is that what she means?
controversial things that I kind of want to bring up. Controversial. It's not like people are like raising stakes. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll move on.
How did you get into this? Can I ask you a question?
This?
Like, yes. Why is this your passion? Did you have a bad experience, or did you make a bad decision?
I was poor as in Michigan.
Okay.
But that was my choice, not Michigan's fault.
I was gonna say, not looking good.
Okay.
And I was down.
Actually, I don't even know. She probably wasn't even governor at the time, but
I started learning about personal finance a lot. And then after wanting to switch career fields from product management and wanted to work with a YouTuber, someone kind of led me along for a couple months, didn't hire me. So I decided to start my own.
Yeah.
Is the short version.
All right.
Yeah.
What's the worst
getting shit done
financial mistake you ever made?
That I ever made? I mean, I maxed out a credit card at 18 immediately on a piano. I wanted to get a piano because I was going to be a music major. I have to get a nice piano.
When I did not understand credit cards when I first got one. I don't know why there is. I actually don't know why personally I didn't have a better understanding, but we definitely need kids to understand finances better by the time you can sign up for a credit card. My understanding of a credit card was that, like, obviously, you can rack up debt because the way that it works, again, this is what I thought. The way that it works is you could charge it up, whatever, and you have a limit. So you can charge as much as your limit is. Let's say you start with $1,000 limit. You can charge up to $1,000, and then the minimum monthly payment, the minimum payment is going to be like $50 or whatever. I thought that when you pay the minimum, then your credit limit resets, and so like you still owe that money, but then you have an extra $1,000. It's not real money, but of credit. And so this is when I was I wasn't into drugs and stuff like that, but I'd started drinking, I was smoking weed, and shit's expensive for a fucking high schooler and when I was in college. So I was taking out cash advances and shit, thinking, oh, we'll be good, because then I'll just I'll borrow $50 from someone, pay it off, and then my card's good, and then I'll get a job. Oh man, it was bad. It was not good. It was not good. Just in case you think that way, that's not how it works. You got to pay off what you buy, or what you charge, and you should definitely do it immediately if you can. Shout out to Dexter. Welcome. Happy Friday to you, sir. Very good to see ya. You're checking out Michigan Finances with Gretchen Whitmer.
On a piano. I wanted to get a piano because I was going to be a music major. I have to get a nice piano, $2,500. Just there we go.
Damn.
Or McDonald's every day. Junior year of college. Also maxed out another $2,500 card.
At McDonald's?
And that's why we got this. That's why we got this, baby.
That's why it was so... When I learned, like the first time I actually made the payment on my credit card, and I made the minimum payment, and I was like, wait, why aren't I allowed to take out, another $300 or something? And I forget, I don't even remember. It was one of my friends. I definitely wouldn't have told my dad that I fucking maxed it out immediately. And they were like, what do you mean? You got to pay that off first. It's like, fuck.
Damn.
But put a one in the chat if you, either if your credit card balance is 0 or you have enough liquid cash to pay off your specifically I'm just talking about credit cards. If you have 0 balance right now, or you have enough money liquid to be able to pay it off if you wanted to right now. 25. Oh, and that's not, I've been there, but like when a lot of the people that come on, the show, they're in like tens of thousands of like, how did you, when you were $5,000 in debt, how did you not think this is bad? I should change things. Insane. Like I've gone through bouts where after I learned about that and I wasn't on drugs anymore. I wasn't in active addiction. I started to, there was, periods of my life where I didn't have a lot of money coming in. And so I was leaving a balance on my credit card, but it wasn't necessarily maxed out. I'd make the minimum payments, and it just kind of helped me keep afloat. I mean, it didn't get up to 5,000, but it was a few thousand, and it took a long time to pay off. But it really was just a matter of not buying bullshit. It took a while, but just the little bullshit, the $5 here, $10 there, just like, maybe I don't need that. Maybe I only need one package of candy. Maybe I don't need 3. Little things like that. You just put that towards your debt. And I mean, $2,500 is definitely manageable. That is manageable. But you got to do it. You got to do it.
So we already talked about, some of the spending and incentives cut back from the Ford Marshall Plan.
Can you hear me chewing?
And there was the Make It in Michigan, where he spent $1 billion.
Yes or no? I don't want to be chewing in your ear.
On 5 EV plants as of 2025 of this month. Lawmakers killed that multi-billion subsidy program, right?
Well, we're retooling.
I use my credit card for everything, but that's because I have the funds in my in my checking account to just I get the notification that's like, oh, your bill is due tomorrow. I just boop 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 boop, load over. Then it actually goes back down to 0, and I don't even know what my limit is. But I don't usually get even near it. So it's fucking cold here. -8. Oh my goodness. With a -24. What do we got here? We got 27 degrees or 21 degrees. Feels like 5. Yikes. Oh man. What do you guys think? Okay, thank you guys. What do you guys think of this storm? How bad is this storm gonna be? No. Well, one person thought Gretchen could beat Gavin, but probably not now, right? I'm gonna ask you guys what you think about the storm. How likely do you think it is that this storm is? Let me think of the word.
Lawmakers killed that multi-billion subsidy program, right?
Well, so wait, let's back that up.
The Make It in Michigan, where he spent $1 billion on 5 EV plants as of 2025 of this month. Lawmakers killed that multi-billion subsidy program, right?
Well, we're retooling a bit. So
Okay.
I'm working with the legislature to make sure we still have some good economic development tools. But you gotta retool. You gotta be nimble. We're competing against Ohio. We're competing against Japan. You know what I mean? Like, we're competing against the world. So we've got to have the tools we need.
And then pork. Government loves pork. We got $950 million there. So
what are pork projects?
$234 million public infrastructure grants, like $50 million for downtown Pontiac, $20 million to the city of Wyoming, $20 million Detroit Greektown corridor, $5 million to Grand Rapids Children's Museum, $122 million community enhancement projects, like $12 million statewide YMCAs, $5 million Detroit Fisher Building, $5 million Special Olympics.
Fun.
$5 million West Michigan Chamber. Do they not have their own money? Special Olympics.
I mean, Special Olympics? Are you against Special Olympics?
No, not the biggest fan of taxes sometimes.
There you go.
Especially now that I have to write the check instead of it getting automatic.
I get it.
All right. All right. And he says it's going to be 60. Fuck you. So how likely do you think it is that the storm is going to have record snowfall? How likely do you think it is that the storm is going to have record snowfall? A little bit of vagary there, but a pretty direct question. Yeah, we got money bags over here, Mr. Money Bags.
I understand.
Especially now that I have to write the check instead of it getting automatic.
I get it. But, this is not unique to Michigan. It's not great. And
I know it's bad, but everybody else does it, so you can't blame me.
we are making changes to have more transparency in the process.
Yes.
To make sure that people who are promoting whatever project they want to get done have to do it so many days in advance so that the whole world can scrutinize it so that they can make their case that it's the right thing to do.
Well, I'm Morty's fucking vet appointment from when he was, not doing well at all is supposed to be Sunday. So we'll see. Because I want to go. I want to get him checked out and make sure he's good. My dad said it's likely something with his medications, and so if they could adjust that, then that works out. Especially if he's got to take less, then I don't have to fucking pay so much. But I don't know how soon, especially because that whole day, if it's that bad, then all the people scheduled on that day are likely going to have to reschedule, and so it might be a little bit down the road. So let's hope. Cross your fingers.
And trust me, I qualify for the Special Olympics. I'm 91 million for
she did not like that
healthcare projects, 20 million to the Henry Ford House, 30 million Saginaw Medical Center, 10 million for Detroit firefighter health support, and then dozens of smaller options like $900,000 to a Troy cricket field. Guess lots of Indian immigration there. 200,000 to New Buffalo Disc, and 1.6 million Grand Rapids Ballet from the.
So I guess pork projects are just like recreational stuffs. But okay, so again, that sounds like a lot of money, but we need to put that in context. I need to know, is this? I don't have a frame of reference for how much should be spent in these areas, and so it's just well, this is happening. Okay, what does that mean though?
States? Why can't Grand Rapids do that?
It's a good question, Caleb. I'll have to tell you.
Do you have an answer, Gretchen?
What legislator asked for that, and you can ask them that question.
That's just, I love my home state.
I know. Well, this doesn't make sense when you're looking at it from, 40,000 feet. I get it.
But when you're looking at the numbers, it really doesn't make sense. I can't put it in order, but I mean, hey.
Don't we? Before we
I understand, but at the same token, I got to get a budget to my desk, and legislators come with their, with their special projects, and they negotiate them in. And I introduced a budget. It doesn't have any pork in it. All right.
Yeah.
When I introduced the budget. So these are not things that I ever
I can appreciate
was
that.
Advocating for.
Yeah.
But the legislature gets their shot at it. And this is often what you see.
Detroit, downtown.
Hey, speaking of Mr. Money Bags Sugar Daddy in the building, said Morty rules with the big 20. Thank you. So very, very much. There you go. Very, very, very much appreciated. Out sponsoring your goddamn self. Thank you so very, very much, sir. Let's keep the party raging on. Thank you. I'm still allergic to freezing temperatures. I mean, so am I, but I can't leave. I think I'm gonna end up in North Carolina within 6 months after Morty passes. I don't know how long I'm gonna make it here. We'll see. All right. Thank you very, very much, sir. Let's dive back.
The legislature gets their shot at it, and this is often what you see.
Detroit downtown boxing gym, $2 million. Detroit Zoo, $7 million. We like the zoos. They're great. Zoos are exciting. Frankenmuth Youth Sports Complex, $10 million from the state. Potter Park Zoo in Lansing, $10 million. This is the part of the show where I usually go through the spending, and it's we got some bullshit spending in there.
All right, so let's go through the bullshit spending. General is indeed so generous, and also a spring girly. Dick said, I want to love my home state, but these Illinois politicians are retarded. I got a bad news for you, buddy. All politicians are retarded. That's why they're politicians, because they can't do anything else that would give them any status. Sorry, not sorry.
We got some fucking taquitos. All right, that's what we call them here. This is some
Taquitos?
bullshit. Yeah, you're stopping in the gas station, get yourself some bullshit. Some Special Olympics bullshit. No, we love the Special Olympics. We love the Special Olympics.
I don't
just didn't know
endorse
the state
anything
paid
you
for
said.
it.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, actually, and why it's kind of controversial is a lot of it is no bid, negotiated late, and sponsor disclosure or after pack.
Yeah, I know. It's gross. I mean,
okay, then what are you doing to fix it?
I think that every dollar should be, if it's used in those ways, there should be a bidding process.
So why isn't there? What are you doing to create that bidding process?
Front end transparency, which is what I think we're going to get done.
There's also $3 million in, I think.
This is kind of making me understand, not agree, but understand with when the left gets all high and mighty and in they get their panties in a bunch about platforming someone. This is I'm not making that complaint. I'm just saying, based on the fact that he's not really pushing back very hard, this is presenting her in a light that is as if her state was audited, and Mr. Caleb Henner, the financial audit guy, gave her a clean bill for the state. But we didn't really talk about anything.
This year for state-managed retirement plan marketplace for businesses under 100 employees,
maybe I spoke too soon.
We get I'm a small business under 100 employees. I save money on taxes implementing a retirement plan. Why does the state of Michigan need to come in and use taxpayer money to set up retirement plans for private businesses?
Put one in the chat if you think we're gonna get a real answer. They said, I love that. Retard is no longer a cancel word. Thanks, Tampon Tim. Fucking retard. Oh, I love it. I love it. We just need the F word to come back.
Need to come in and use taxpayer money to set up retirement plans for private businesses.
It's a good question. I don't have a great answer for you other than I think the goal there is obviously to help the Small Business Association help their members get health care.
And at least there are some things in court, like $2.5 million for the Lansing lug nuts. Who goes to the lug nuts?
I got you lug nuts right here.
I don't know what a lug nut is.
It's a lug.
You don't know what a lug is that? Is it a different lug nut than the car thing?
Lug nut is a part. It's a part in your car, and the lug nuts are the baseball team in Lansing.
Interesting. Lots of e-bike incentives. $1,250 per bike. $1,250 per bike.
Electric bikes, e-bikes, could soon become more affordable under the new state budget. Republicans say the program is another example of wasteful spending. The vouchers could save buyers anywhere from $500 to just over $1,200.
Is this like the city bike thing?
What was the public feedback about what kind of access there should be now for bikes?
I would say it was really split. Some were very much in favor and in support of what the department was proposing. Some were very much against it.
So it's
well, thanks for clearing that up.
Expensive, just people are paying a lot of money in taxes, and it's a small percentage overall, but it all stacks up, right?
Right.
And when we're thinking of the pork that it goes to of almost $1 billion, that starts to hurt. It kind of starts to hurt. This one was this is a pilot program put into law this year, $2.5 million going to grant program aimed at short-term lenders, payday loans, essentially.
Hey, yo, what?
Now, I know you didn't advocate for this. I'm not saying that.
You're right. I just assumed
what are you doing about it?
Have any of those things in it, like the budget that I introduced in February.
And the state of Michigan outlook is actually pretty in general.
Why are we not honing in on anything? Government-sponsored payday loans, I think, is a clear thing that Caleb should be able to be like, this is bad, and then Gretchen should be able to say either, well, no, it's not bad because of XYZ, or I agree it's bad. Here's what I'm doing to fix it. Just sitting there and agreeing every time someone's like, well, this is not good about your state. Yeah, I know, but things are bad sometimes. What are you going to do? Well, we're going to really try. Come on, man. What is this?
Pretty good. 3.9% growth income per capita this year, projected going forward about 3.2%. And we do expect slower growth overall, economists are saying, but still growth in Michigan, which is good. You got up to the AA plus. That's exciting credit rating. And Detroit's kind of, getting a nice little rebound. That little core area. We like that. If I would live anywhere, it would be Grand Rapids personally if I moved back. But 50% of the year being overcast, just can't do that. There is, potential tariff risks right now. Manufacturing is flat to down and uncertainty is definitely high. The state is 49th in population growth. That is a long-term risk. Growing populations required for a thriving economy. And CEO sentiment.
But everybody's leaving.
Is negative. And So those are kind of the concerns of the state of Michigan. Do you have any thoughts on those before we kind of go on?
Well, we're going to try really hard to do better. Probably something like that, right?
And some of the other
Of course I do. I got thoughts on all of it, but
I'm not going to tell you.
I'll keep it succinct. I think,
Sure.
There are a lot of good things happening. I think overwhelmingly, we just saw a new poll come out about kind of sentiment in Detroit. Some crazy number, like 78% of people feel like we're on the right track. I don't know how long it's been since you've been to Detroit, but we hosted.
I try to avoid it.
Well, we hosted the draft.
As do most people.
Last year. It was spectacular. I mean, there's so much good stuff going on in Detroit, Grand Rapids.
Yeah. Okay, but what about people's everyday lives? We saw what happened in Brazil when the World Cup was. Did I say Brazil? Yeah, when I was in Brazil, and they cleaned up all the favelas and all that shit and spent all this money on the stadium just for it to be torn down. We saw what happened in San Francisco when Xi Jinping came and Gavin Newsom was able to just fucking clean everything up in 1 or 2 days or something like that. So just because you can and have done a thing doesn't mean that this is how people are living. This is the bait and switch. Shout out to Angry Amputee. Welcome to the party. Good for cheap weed and I didn't have anything else. Welcome. The Upper Peninsula. I mean, yeah, there's one thing about America, especially the central, the Midwest. There's a lot of beautiful land there. You go a little bit further south, and it tends to be more flat. But north and all the way over. I mean, hey, they don't call Jersey the Garden State for no reason. But yeah, there's a lot of good stuff up there. If it's mismanaged, then it's all gonna go to shit.
Last year, it was spectacular. I mean, there's so much good stuff going on in Detroit, Grand Rapids. Yeah. Michigan's a great place. And yes,
is it though?
We've got some challenges, but I feel like we're making real headway, and it's an exciting time to be.
Just another empty fucking answer.
To be in Michigan.
For at least half the year.
No, all year round.
Yeah.
Caleb, people are going to need places like Michigan. 20%.
Okay, why?
Of the world's fresh surface water.
That is true.
We don't have nearly the climate stuff that you guys have down here, for instance.
Yeah, we got them droughts and flood.
Yeah, my backer is saying, ask her about the phantom job. I don't even know specifically what you're referring to, but this whole thing, like, okay, it's good information, but I would like it to be a little bit more like, Kayla was asking questions. Well, why do we need this? Why is that? And then she gives some bullshit. And oh, okay. So it's like, maybe you weren't the guy to do this type of podcast. Maybe you should have stuck to the financials and asking about why this specific thing was spent here when it could have been done there, so on and so forth. Maybe you're not tapped into politics well enough. It seems like you are. What are we doing here?
We're on the East Coast, I mean, when we have a ice storm, we got the equipment to take care of it.
I hope she's right about that.
It is true. Like the only reason I'd move back to Michigan is if the world is collapsing. That would be the one thing.
Oh, you're kidding me.
I'm with you.
Man.
My family's there. I love Michigan. I got my Michigan stuff.
I know. You got a Michigan gift here, too.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yes, let's do that. And while I do this, I mean, this is exciting. So the personal finance being taught in school, I'd love to learn more about that.
Yeah.
Yes, me too.
You know what? It is.
But unfortunately, she's going to give some basic, superficial bullshit answer, and we're not going to learn anything about anything. Yeah, I mean, said she's manipulating him. I'm glad you called her out for saying something. For saying she's not saying anything. She's playing mind games. That's what politicians do, and you gotta be on the lookout, because I mean, she's not fantastic at it, but she's pretty good. But some of them are really, really good at just saying nothing. Shout out to Sean. Welcome. Another Michiganers? Is that what they call you guys? Welcome.
There's no question in my mind that we're missing an important
head shark.
A shark, yes.
For the hammer.
You're the hammer.
There are not sharks
in
Lake
love
Michigan.
Sharks, but I love Shark Week.
You love Shark Week?
Oh,
that's such a fucking... I know for a fact. I don't know, but I know there is no way she is like somebody told her to say that. Somebody told her to say that. I have a whole thing about Shark Week. Shark Week used to, I'll come back to this. Shark Week used to be legit. It'd be awesome. What? How do you not know about Shark Week? Put it on the side if you don't know what Shark Week is. Discovery Channel used to do actual real stuff, mostly with animals, and then there was a Shark Week, and every summer they'd do Shark Week, and it'd be like these crazy great whites and all this and all that. First, they started doing a bunch of shark stuff too much throughout the year, so then Shark Week was just, essentially another week. And then that's okay. Thank you. I was like, do we not know about this? But then they started with the fucking, what do you call them? Like the digital CGI bullshit. This is what would happen if a bull shark come and da-da-da-da-da-da. Exactly. Gay. Why doesn't Shark Week ever document on corrupt politicians and investment bankers? Hey. There ya go. Well, I mean, stay out of the water and you're good, right?
You're the hammer.
There are not sharks
and
in
I
Lake
love
Michigan.
Sharks, but I love Shark Week.
You love Shark Week?
Oh, God.
Shark Week?
Yes, there's a whole story there.
Okay.
Are you going to tell it?
You want to hear it?
Yes. Yes.
No.
Okay.
Oh, my God. We were going to get actual information on something. Maybe not on Michigan, maybe not on finances, but at least we're going to get something. And he's like, nah.
Google Gretchen Whitmer and Shark Week.
It's not just Shark Week. It's Shark Week.
But anyway.
Oh, we got to do that. Well, wait, let me get my... Why am I... Caps. What do we have? Is this gonna fucking ask me to sign in some bullshit? No? Perfect. Okay. Gretchen went viral this week, which was August 2020. Went viral. She said, Shark Week motherfucker, rounding exploded right before her speech to the DNC, but the backstory, her comment, blah, 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 blah. Whitmer was preparing to deliver her remarks, and she cracked the joke. It's not just Shark Week, motherfucker. What are we doing?
It's not just Shark Week. It's Shark Week.
Oh, that's it. And she's still standing.
I have learned about the hot mic.
What the fuck was that? Is that what Pearl watched to prepare for her debate with Anna? What in the fuck? How many seconds did she just... I assumed that either this was the end of the speech and she was just, kind of punctuating it, or she would move on to say something else. This is exactly a TikTok I just saw this week when the captions when a Democrat curses. It's like, we're not going to give a damn. And it's like, like these mother frickers. Oh, my God. Same exact shit. Oh.
It's not just Shark Week. It's Shark Week.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I have learned about
8,
the hot mic.
9, 10, 11, 12. 12 seconds of just not saying anything. I mean, just for comparison. Pearl silent debate. Please give me something right here. Oh, shout out to AJ.
90% of disputed custody goes to women. That's not equal.
90%, that's a totally made up statistic. Where are you citing that from? How many women die every year during childbirth
Not many.
This country has the highest maternal mortality rate of any developed country. So a lot of women do die as a result of pregnancy and childbirth, yes.
The soundbite's not even long enough. The soundbite's not even long enough. Can we go twice?
This is painful, man.
3. We're on number 3. That's 4. These are 5-second
Do you have any
clips.
other questions for me?
All right now.
All right.
There's videos.
That was almost a full 30 seconds. A full 30 seconds of silence. Shout out to Mr. Alley Cat. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So is she referring to what women generally mean when they say Shark Week? I hope not. I hope not. I don't. If that's what was going on, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know what the story is. Yeah. Pearl was dead and decomposed. Oh, we're not even done. We're not even done.
Internet
My
everywhere,
sister-in-law.
women getting their guns taken because they're not strong enough.
Are you just making things up? Pearl, what are you doing? Like, seriously. Next question.
I think I'm more of a feminist than you.
Sure. Go great. Congratulations.
1. Two. 3.
This is the longest 30 minutes of my life.
4.
I'm going to interject again.
And saved by the bell. Oh my God. Oh my God. Tell me that's not the same shit. Tell me that's not the same shit.
It's not just Shark Week. It's Shark Week. I have learned about the hot mic.
Oh, hell no.
This is our government. Like, all right, Pearl is Pearl, right? Pearl is just, yeah, right? But this is a governor running for president. Next question. I'm good for now. Pretty much. Oh, man. Yikes. So I'd love to see if they're actually, like, are they going to have a conversation about this? I didn't mean to do that. We'll do that and that. Yeah. Again, weird thing to bring up. So I guess that, when I said, oh, somebody told her to say that, I think somebody told her to say that in the original clip. Because Shark Week is just not cool anymore. That's not like a thing. People don't have cable anymore. People don't have Discovery Channel.
Yes, quick.
It's not just Shark Week. It's Shark Week.
But anyway, yes. Hammerhead
Yeah, cut her away right before the silence.
shark, because I love sharks. What else? Keep
That'll
going.
push you over the edge
What do
in
you got?
2028. Shark Week.
Guys, thanks.
That's what
I was saying I like I don't know too much about him, but Rokana seems to be not too bad.
Sorry, I'm just being a dick for no reason. Let's see. Oh, some coasters. I think I'm feeling coasters. Look at that. The state of Michigan coaster. We love it. It is the Great Lakes state.
There
and
you
it is
go.
the Mitten state, Wisconsin. Fuck off. Like,
Right.
what are
Nobody really cares.
Come on.
Nobody really cares.
I hate these fucking sounds.
Nobody really cares.
Nobody really cares.
Wisconsin, give me a break.
Yeah.
Yeah. Echoes, right? That echoed.
Yeah. Tell them to fuck off.
Fork off.
Betterman.
Okay.
Fork off. All right. Shout out to the good place.
Yeah. Tell them to fuck off.
Fork off.
Okay. Well, I really appreciate it. I would love to learn more about personal finances being taught.
Something more. Oh,
Why are we doing a gift right in the middle? There's still fucking 20 minutes left of this. What are we doing?
Oh, yeah, Natty. This is exciting, and I want to close the conversation on a happy note with that. But
okay,
yes,
we'll save it.
Western Michigan, the national championship in college hockey last year. Thank you.
Hockey puck, yes. They beat my alma mater, Michigan State, on the way. So
You're damn right. We split with Michigan this weekend.
Yes.
But personal finance being taught in school.
So, there's...
They think they are. And a lot of people agree, unfortunately. But yikes. Warehouse, this is on you, bro. This is on you, bro.
We split with Michigan this weekend.
Yes.
But personal finance being taught in school.
So, there's no question.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that we even asked that fucking question. We went through the whole story of the credit cards and all of that, and Shark Week and Pearl. Never got an answer about personal finance in school. I mean, come on.
Haram!
What is it? Give it up to Wisconsin? What does that mean?
Split with Michigan this weekend.
Yes.
But personal finance being taught in school.
So, there's no question that
the underpants?
Everyone needs to know personal finance. I remember talking to my daughter when she was taking algebra, and she's like, why do I need to know quadratics? I need to know how to pay my taxes and buy a house.
Homeschool. Who do you think has done more to help people with their finances? Gretchen Whitmer or Caleb Hammer?
Mm-hmm. And, that sentiment, I think, is real, right? We've got to give people the tools they need to take care of themselves. And we got to do it before they head off to college and get that credit card when they're 18 years old and buy a stupid piano.
I still have it, thank you.
Okay, pianos aren't stupid, but to buy a piano at 18 was not smart.
It was horrible. It was stupid.
So, we want to giving people budgeting, having a rudimentary understanding of markets and how to save. I'm always talking to my kids about maximize what you can. If your employer has some sort of a match, do the maximum. Like that's what my parents always taught me. Right.
Yeah.
And I did it my whole time. And I've been a public service, my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not complaining about what I make, but I don't make a fortune. It's public service.
I just have $14 million when I started with 2.
That's part of it. As governor, it's $159,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And certainly
But we'll keep the insider trading out of it.
that's the highest I've ever been paid. So
a new book, right? That's money.
I'm donating that money to charity. I can't make
Why?
additional money while I'm governor.
Well, I can't make any other money than the $100,000, and that's how I got to be a fucking 14 millionaire. She should open a daycare. Hey, dilly to that. She would fit right in.
So anyway, I'm donating that money
Let's hear her say it again, as if she actually believes it.
to charity. I can't make additional money while I'm governor. So anyway,
Well played.
but
Well played. Caleb knows. He's like, all right, I'll let you keep that one. Because now we're talking about actual federal crimes. Shout out to Caleb. If you know, you know.
money to charity. I can't make additional money while I'm governor. So anyway,
Well played. We see through you, bitch.
But the point is, like, you max it out. And we want people to understand that. I think a lot.
So that's how you fix finance in schools. Tell kids, match. That's the whole thing.
A lot of people get into trouble very quickly because they just don't have that rudimentary. Even my husband, who
this is bordering on. I mean, she didn't bring up a race, but we'll switch it to poor people. This is bordering on when was it Kathy Hochul? It was like some of these black kids don't even know what a computer is. Some people are poor because they don't know what matching means. I don't think that's the problem. And Caleb knows that's not the problem, which is why he said, well played.
was a dentist. He went to school, K through 12, went to college 4 years, went to dental school 4 years. And then
have really nice teeth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I paid a lot of money. I knocked these suckers out when I was in 8th grade. But anyway, the point is, he graduated after all this schooling.
The point is, not making a point.
He have any idea how to run a business.
Yeah.
No one taught him that.
That's why
He
all
had to
dentists
learn
kill
that.
themselves.
Yeah. Oh God.
It's true.
I got dark fast.
No, it's true though.
But
high suicide rate.
But had to figure that out on the fly. Didn't get that rudimentary knowledge. So that's what we're trying to do.
They don't know where the DMV is.
Arm people with information.
And this
what information, Gretchen? That's the question. What information are you talking about?
So required
other than match. If somebody's gonna match your money, max the match. Good advice. Not saying it's not good advice. But that's it. Oh, look how adorable he is. Oh, he's tired out from that road trip. We took a road trip, doing some stuff that I don't really want to talk about. That I was gonna leave him here, but I did get some super fucking expensive anti-nausea medication, which is frustrating because I read that dogs can take just human Dramamine, obviously, an appropriate dose for his size. But I was trying to ask the vet, how much do I give him if I need to take him in the car? And she's like, oh, I don't know, but we can prescribe this. Fucking, it was like $40 a pill. But it works. He didn't puke.
For graduation.
Yes.
Very good. Is there any way out of that? Because I know sometimes you can take this is a slightly different class, but it's kind of adjacent, so you don't have to take that class.
I don't believe so.
I missed that. What?
Graduation.
Yes.
Very good.
Wait, what was required?
Figure that out on the fly. Didn't get that rudimentary knowledge. So that's what we're trying to do. Arm people with information.
Max match.
And this was required for graduation.
Yes.
What's the 2 words, guys? If you want your diploma, you've got to recite everything that you've learned about finance and high school. Max match.
Very good. Is there any way out of that? Because I know sometimes you can take this is a slightly different class, but it's kind of adjacent, so you don't have to take that class.
I don't believe so. I think that this is, and anyone who's in 10th grade now will have to have had it in order to graduate.
Well, W for that, right?
I mean, I think they're, depending on the industry, depending on how well the company is doing, depending on how greedy the company is, all these kind of things are going to call into effect. I definitely, I'm not in the corporate world like that, so I don't know exactly how it works and, how it's gone up and down. But I feel like I hear about it pretty regularly. So it seems like good advice, but if we're saying not a lot of companies do that in the first place, and that's her fucking solution to fixing finances in school, teaching wise, and just say max match. That's your whole thing. That's the whole thing. Is we do 15%, and we'll retire with $2 million in the investment account. Oh, wrong one. There you go. Millie
will have to have had it in order to graduate.
Well, W for that,
max
right?
match.
I mean, that's
W for max match, bro. Max match.
It's good.
That's great.
It's important.
That's very important. Can you change one thing for me, though?
What?
This is so moronic. I don't understand, because Texas does it too. I think it's just Michigan and Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Tesla cannot be licensed as a dealer in the normal sense with the Michigan Vehicle Franchise Act in Michigan. I know we want to protect the auto industry, but we got new type of auto industry coming. I don't know if they build in Michigan, but let people just buy a car, and they have to avoid being in-state new direct sales under dealership law. So the sale is orchestrated out of state, and then the vehicle titled in Michigan afterwards. And Tesla cannot directly own a service or repair faculty in Michigan under the same corporate structure.
Sounds like a lot of unnecessary bureaucracy. There's a rule that if you save 8% a year starting right away, you will retire with with the average wage you have made. Makes sense? Yeah. I mean, the one thing I learned about saving, because regardless of what they're teaching now, they definitely were not doing well with teaching finances in high school when I was there. And it wasn't really until COVID where somebody articulated to me the notion that because of inflation, and obviously, inflation, like we're damn near hyperinflation with all the money printer go brr. But somebody who's saying when they're printing all this money, if you're just having X amount of dollars sitting in a savings account, and it gets 1% a year or some shit like that, you're just throwing your money away. You're just putting your money in a box that is literally shrinking what it is. And so I was like, oh fuck, I need to get rid of all this savings. I need to get some fucking assets. You do have to make it to retirement. Yeah, if you die before you collect, what's the point? Well, I mean, nobody knows when they're gonna die, so you obviously plan for the future and hope it doesn't happen. But if you die before you collect, then you're dead, so you won't care. And so Tesla is pushing Tesla in Ohio. They let my 19-year-old son bring one home for half a day from the mall yesterday. God damn. All right. Well, I don't know that that's a great marketing idea. I feel like dead teenager in free school in Tesla, in free school in free car. That sounds like a bad idea. That sounds like a bad idea. We all know how we feel about things that we don't pay for. That was a school guy from the bank came in and taught us about interest banking, all types of things. Yeah, we did not get anything like that. And yeah, that's a lot of people since then. I've started to learn more about it. And, I always thought that being in the stock market was some, you had to be like when they showed the old school floor of Wall Street. I thought you had to, I don't know, just nobody ever fucking taught me. And I took a stocks and investment class in high school, but they still just didn't give us a good understanding. Shout out to Mana and Water. Said I'm retired, have a house that is paid for. My taxes are only $900 a year and still stack precious metals and invest. Well, dilly to that. Lucky you. That's the way to live. Right. So let's see what other great advice we're getting from Gretchen Whitmer.
Cannot directly own a service or repair faculty in Michigan under the same corporate structure.
That's
so stupid. It's really stupid.
No, every car's on a computer chip now.
It would take an act of the legislature to get it done. So I can't do it unilaterally. I will say this, though.
I can't do it. I have no power.
No shortage of Teslas driving on Michigan roads.
Yeah, but they have to it has to be an order out of state. We have to do this in, like, if I buy the Cybertruck, which...
Who
don't buy the Cybertruck.
Would do that.
Well, I love my ex. I'm just saying. I love my ex. Cybertruck, not for me. But if I were to buy them, they're made in Austin. It gets shipped out of state, then back in.
Money.
It's really silly.
That's weird.
It's just why is the government picking? Well, I guess that's going full.
Well, that's silly. Yeah, you're the one in charge, bitch. Fix the silly shit.
Old school, Obama era, winners and losers. So kind of are. You're picking
why
the
is
old
it the
school
law in
dealership.
Texas? That is weird.
I don't know, but in Michigan too.
What was the winners?
What
was the winners and losers thing? Do you guys remember that? I don't specifically. I remember in general. I'm gonna look up
3.
I think we can understand the history why that's the reality currently in Michigan.
But maybe
the Texas one's weird.
Get a little sucky Elon and try to get him to build some stuff in Michigan.
Hey man, Elon Musk wants to have a conversation about building in Michigan. I'm all ears.
What was this?
It's a tradition on Budget Day. Thick blue books land on Capitol Hill. While the president proclaims a sage balance of deficit cuts and vital investments.
At a time when our economy is growing and creating jobs at a faster clip, we've got to do everything in our power to keep this recovery on track.
Obama's 2013 bottom line, slashing $4 trillion in red ink over a decade, but boosting spending on key priorities. The GOP's bottom line, it's all smoke and mirrors that ducks tough choices.
It goes beyond just being a political document. It goes to being an irresponsible document.
Loaded with deficit reduction gimmicks.
Look how younger he looks.
Would trigger an IRS audit for anybody else.
While spending caps were set in last year's debt deal, Obama's blueprint does have winners and losers. Roads and rails get a $50 billion upfront boost and lots more in coming years. Okay. Schools get a $30 billion makeover and states another $30 billion to hire back police, fire, and other workers.
Okay, I'm remembering this, but again, this is during the time I was not paying attention to jack shit. Shout out to Average Debate Enjoyer. Welcome. Gretchen Whitmer is 100% running for president and can win. The prediction markets do not agree, but hey, we will see. Welcome. Very good to see you, sir. Sally Cat said she's a crazy leftist that doesn't usually act like a crazy leftist. Well, that's why we were asking before. They had the bar across the bottom, and they were like, "Oh, Mom, they had Bernie and Mom Donnie are all the way over here, and Trump is going to be all the way over here because he's evil and horrible. Where are you?" And she's like, "Oh, I'm like right center." Are you though? Probably not. Criminal after. Yep.
Stuff in Michigan.
Hey man, Elon Musk wants to have a conversation about building in Michigan. I'm all ears.
Okay, but like, did you think that he doesn't want to be building in Michigan? It's not on Elon to go and help your state. You're the one who should be saying, "Hey, Elon, I see that you've got a bunch of money in a company where things are being built. I don't know if you know about the history of Michigan, but this is a great place for a factory, for this, that." Not, "Well, I'm all ears. Hit me up. Slide in the DMs." Shut up.
Yes.
Come on in.
Why would you go anywhere else?
50% overcast of the year. Depression. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Now, student loans in the country. You'll probably be somewhere nearing the White House at some point. And right now, we got $1.63 trillion in student loans. That's crazy. In federal student loans
Just
alone,
forgive it all. Just forgive it.
Not to mention,
Forgive it all. These kids, they didn't know what they were doing. Don't worry about the blue collar workers who couldn't afford to go to college at all, regardless of their loans, or families who were making just a little bit too much money to get these loans and had to pay out of pocket and are in personal debt, or not like the student loans, but a different kind, whatever situation. Let's just forgive it. Let's just throw more money at it.
In private, and we got $40,000 for the average borrower, and 40% dropout, by the way. I'm among that 40%.
Oh, 40% dropout rate. Yikes.
That is 45 million people have federal student debt, and delinquency rates are rising at 7.73%. Now, my big question is, the Trump
My question is not going to be answered by Gretchen Whitmer.
administration through the BBB did enact some changes, and that kind of included the RAP plan.
President Trump's new tax and spending law brings sweeping changes to the federal student loan system.
Total student debt in America is at $1.8 trillion. It's roughly tripled in the last 17 years.
A surge in past due student loans is sparking new concerns about the health of the U.S. economy.
Currently have 22,000.
56,000.
Jesus!
$108,137.48 in student loans.
And I work at Starbucks because I've got a gender studies degree.
In one survey, 60% of younger borrowers said they'd be in their 40s before their student loans are paid off.
My daughter's going to school. She can't afford $240,000 in debt. She's going to be a well-financed barista when this is over.
And
Called it.
Simplifying a lot of the complicated repayment processes. And that means payments are set at 1 to 10%. But I've seen all over TikTok, a lot of people mostly on, the TikTok generation, like kind of far left, they're like, I'm not going to pay. Then they get their
Far left, but also I'd say more polarized versus, far left or far right. But
a lot of people mostly on, the TikTok generation, like kind of far left, they're like, I'm not going to pay. Then they get their wages garnished. They're like, I can't afford to pay. And it's like 1% of their income. What is your thoughts on this? Because I know you have a different political philosophy.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think she's going to just fucking deflect and go right around the question.
I'm the president of the United States, but that doesn't seem like a bad thing. But everyone on the left side of the political aisle was like, this is evil.
So
Trump bad. Trump bad. Trump bad.
Where we're sitting right now, there's and every once in a while I smell toast. Do you smell the toast? Okay,
yeah, it's a bakery. You're not having a stroke.
I want to make sure I wasn't.
I was just, I was like, isn't that a sign that you're having a stroke? Yeah. All right, here we go. Let's see. I hope you guys are wrong. I would have put. I'll put my one right there. I hope we're all wrong. I hope we're all wrong. But I don't think we will be. Alicat said we can talk about schools that scam people into enrolling by doing their loan applications for them, but that is on the school, not loan forgiveness. I mean, I agree. I'm confused at the specifics. It's like whether you were scammed or not, like you shouldn't have your loans forgiven. You took out that money, you got that education. So what is the fact that schools or the government, whoever, how does that different? Like, what's the differentiation that you're making?
Every once in a while I smell toast. Do you smell the toast? Okay.
Yeah, it's a bakery. You're not having a
stroke. I want to make sure I wasn't having like something going on. Okay.
Nothing to offer but Shark Week. Fucking Shark Week. And I bet you, like I said, someone told her to say that. People are brainwashed to think they need school to succeed. Yep. Oh, please do. Drop that shit in the Discord and we'll pull it up.
Do you smell the toast? Okay.
Yeah, it's a bakery. You're not having a stroke.
I want to make sure I wasn't having like something going on. Okay.
I'm sorry. Anyway. I always forget to tell people.
What kind of bakery smells like burnt toast?
When I went to college, way back in my day, the state picked up about 75% of my tuition, and my
yeah, I think okay. So I agree that like kids were defrauded, kids were scammed, but that's not my problem. It's not your problem. It's their problem. Sometimes you get scammed. Do better.
Family and I had to come up with the other 25%, right? And nowadays, it's the exact opposite. So we have shifted. We've, as a society, have said, it's not in all of our interests that we have an educated population. It's on you if you're going to pursue that. And so state picks up 25%, the individual picks up 75%, and they're putting more and more on credit cards, more and more taking out debt, right? And
so at least if they're moving away from here, we'll just, give you all the money. There's still going to be people who are, going into their own pockets because of the fact that they think they need to go to school. That's going to happen. But there's going to be a lot of people who are just like, oh, well, I mean, I would have gone if you were going to fund it with student loans, but I'm not going into, into my credit card to do that. Even though you can declare bankruptcy on your credit card and you can't declare bankruptcy on student loans. But these people are thinking that physically being out of school is going to make them better. So, most people not watching on YouTube. Most people are on YouTube. We got a couple on Rumble, and looks we got one over on Twitch. Shout out whoever is on Twitch. Oh, somebody who's spamming over, but yeah, we got. If you're on Twitch, give us a hello over on Twitch. Huh? What link? What you talking about, Willis? The word Ohio looks like a tractor. I will never be able to unsee that. Welcome to the party. All right, let's finish this up.
5%, and they're putting more and more on credit cards, more and more taking out debt, right? And so this is a part of the equation that's gotten us here. Now, what is the solution? I think there's a lot of debate, and I don't think that there's any solution on the horizon right now.
Bitch, then what are you doing here?
No. But I guess what I would challenge you and ask you is...
Oh, no, she is challenging him. What are you, Caleb Hammer, host of Financial Audit on YouTube? What are you going to do to fix the finances? I mean, there's a big debate I don't know, but I want to challenge you.
How dare you?
What do you think? I mean, you're someone that this, you're closer to the generation we're talking about that's carrying all this debt.
I got 40,000.
I don't know. I went so a while ago, real quick. They changed the subscription tiers on StreamYard. And so, with I didn't need the super high level one where you could have like 100 people in the back and all these people on screen and 10 different destinations. But when that was included, we were on YouTube, X, Rumble, Kick, Twitch, and Instagram. So we were on all of those. But then they changed it, and the tier that I was on, you get 3 destinations. So I used to do YouTube, X, and Rumble. And then, people, I don't like X that much, and we were not really getting anyone over there anyway. So I was like, fuck it, we'll go over and see Twitch. Yeah, I mean, Twitch is definitely very left wing. So, yeah, I don't know, but it's mostly YouTube. It's mostly you.
You're closer to the generation we're talking about that's carrying all this debt.
I got 40,000.
You had your amount of debt that you acquired. What do you think the solution is? Because
I think this potentially might have
my
a
God.
solution. One thing that many on the left are kind of angry about this, and trust me, bring a right wing governor on and I'll critique their things too. You're just on the left wing, so obviously we're going to talk about things that are interesting. But they got upset that there are graduate borrowing limits, undergraduate borrowing limits. You talked about how 75% used to be paid for by the state. Now it's 25% and it's on the individual. Well, a lot of the times on the left, we've seen borrow an infinite amount of money to go to college, no caps. Why wouldn't the colleges just continue to raise how much it costs to go there if you can borrow whatever?
Right.
If one goes up, the other's going to go up. So setting these caps should hopefully at least discourage, like, they have to have people in, butts in classrooms, right?
Yeah.
They have to. And if people can't borrow a certain amount to go there, they won't be able to go. My hope is that would hopefully, restrict the endless increase of administrators and everything and just bulk spending that colleges do. Now, unfortunately,
notice already in the last, 1 minute? 1 minute? He's actually rattling off ideas. They might not be complete comprehensive plans. They might not, but there's something. Why does the YouTuber know more about what the governor needs to do than the fucking governor?
Students, they pay cash, and that's an easy replacement. And another fear is people will just go borrow from the private student loans now. So, but I think what was kind of confusing to me is like the solution. I haven't heard a solution on the left other than just keep raising what people can borrow forever. And of course, the schools are always going to just say, well, can I have more money then?
Yeah, if the government's paying for it, well, let's raise prices.
Because you can borrow more.
did you, when Biden supported, had his writing off debt plan, how did that hit you?
I wouldn't have qualified at that time. Actually, I think I may have due to my previous year tax return. I was qualified for like a smaller forgiveness, and I'll take free money. I'll take free money, but it wasn't a solution. It was nothing long term. It helps a select group of people that have already gone to school, but it doesn't help anyone in the future because it didn't address the actual issue.
Right. It was interesting to me, as I talked to people in Michigan, people who did take out debt had paid it off, who were so salty about the fact that someone else who hadn't paid off their debt could.
Right. But I mean, again, we have to bring it back to the idea that this is the case for all politicians. They're all just the face. It's all the advisors and the staffers and stuff that do everything. But the point of being the face is, one, that you're decent to look at, not even in a sexual way, but, that'll help. But you're decent to look at, and you speak good. You say words nice. If you can't do that, then what are we doing?
Get it written off.
Yeah.
It was kind of interesting. It's a hard challenge to figure out what the equitable solution is, because we don't.
Equitable. All right. I
don't want people carrying debt for their whole lives.
No, but letting people borrow infinite amount.
It doesn't.
In my, I went to high school in Michigan. I went to a good high school.
Yeah.
But still, every administrator and everything was borrow any amount to go to whatever school you want for whatever degree you want. We got people getting both degrees that are not going to translate in the market, and they're borrowing whatever it takes to go to the school that has the sports team they care about. I mean, that's just not working.
Yeah, well, we should.
She's just not, there's nothing there. Why are we here? What am I gaining from this?
We could have a whole conversation about sports and
how about you have a whole conversation about your fucking policies, bitch?
College.
If you were president in a hypothetical world,
So this is just the same fucking question as if you had the dictatorial stamp.
You know, of course you will never run. But would you want the wealthy to pay more taxes?
Of course. Everybody's going to pay their fair share.
Would I mean, just for the purpose of paying taxes or
Income,
for the
capital
purpose
gains.
of strengthening our,
Well, our national
economy
debt's
and
insane.
our
Yeah, let's double tax money. Why not?
paying off our national debt for purpose of our homeland security and making sure that we've got defense.
So is that a yes?
You know, I think we've got a lot of important things that we have not been doing.
So that's a no.
But do you
that we need
advocate
to
for
do.
tax increases among?
I'm not here as a candidate for a higher office.
Oh my God. Oh my fucking God.
And I'm not here to advocate for any new
Michigan, would
taxes.
you?
But
Then what are you doing? What are you here for?
Raise taxes?
in Michigan, I mean, we did just raise taxes for on sales of
Didn't ask what you did before.
cannabis.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
But income taxes on individuals, or
There you
I know
go.
there's no
Finally, fucking nail her down to a fucking answer.
capital gains taxes. But
I have not introduced an income tax in Michigan. No.
Yet again, not the question.
and you wouldn't support it if it came across your desk.
If it ain't coming.
Okay.
Which means, well, if it comes across my desk, obviously the rest got to pay their fair share.
I mean, I'm just telling you. I know you.
You're literally not. You're literally not telling us. You're explicitly not telling us. That's what this smile is. Oh, okay. I see. You're not going to be able to answer this question. Literally not telling us.
It ain't coming.
Okay.
I mean, I'm just telling you. I know you. I know you
wanna have a
want to
tax
play the high.
conversation.
You want to play all the hypotheticals, but
Yeah,
I'm
well-
grounded in reality.
Yeah. She did not just say that. She did not just say that.
No,
I
you
wanna have a
want to
tax
play the high.
conversation.
You want to play all the hypotheticals, but
Yeah,
I'm
well-
grounded in reality. It ain't coming.
I'm grounded in reality. Are you though?
Come on.
Okay,
Why
but
am I
tax
going to take a
increases.
position on something that's never going to happen?
Okay.
When you're
Like that.
president, would you propose higher taxes, income taxes?
Well,
on
I
the
don't
wealthy?
know. All that concerns me is, California, they've lost 1.6% of personal tax income because people can move anywhere now. The UK itself,
Oh, but I thought we established in the very beginning of this conversation that people don't just move for things like tax benefits or welfare benefits. That's silly. Right, Gretchen?
6% of personal tax income because people can move anywhere now. The
Oh, now you're agreeing.
UK
Okay.
itself, they've
nodding
lost
along.
16,500 millionaires going all across the world. They're losing tax revenue substantially, 10% lost in taxes and capital gains taxes because they decided to close some loopholes, and they're like, let's get people to pay the fair share. And now they're losing more tax revenue. So that's why I wanted to kind of hear your philosophy on this. Now we are
Yeah, but you ain't gonna hear shit.
wrapping up here.
Thank
Can I
God.
ask a couple quick fires, Mr. Press Secretary? So, a couple quick fires? Very cool. Quick fires. Very good.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think we will not get a single straight answer from the quick fires.
Michigan is a declining population state, where southern states, Texas gained 4.3, Florida 4.7, where states like New York, Michigan, California are leaving. Why do you think that's happening? Why is that transition happening in this country?
I wouldn't say we're declining. We're not growing as fast.
Yeah.
So, okay. There we go. First question, not answered.
I think that's an important distinction.
The year of that this metric was taken, which was 2020 to 2023, that had a 0.3% loss.
In our last census, we were up a percentage point. So whatever. I mean,
Sure.
it's not worth quibbling. It's just the point that, we do have an older population in Michigan. And I think that's part of why our strategy around it, investing in people, places, and opportunities, that bring good paying jobs is going to continue to be really important. But I do have had a chief growth officer, first state in the country to do that. We want to stay focused on how do we grow our population. It's important.
So that's why people are leaving?
Stupid.
And now in the state of Michigan, we are seeing Michigan Court Rule 6.106 provides that the default presumption is release on personal recognitions, which is no money bond, or on unsecured bond rather than
recognizance
cash bail. We are starting to see even a shooting that happened in Austin over the weekend was someone that has already had multiple violent offenses. We know that individuals with
bail, no bail, just to go on your merry way. Killed somebody, no big deal. In Gretchen Whitmer's Michigan,
3 to 10 violent crime convictions represent only 0.9% of the total population. But
yeah, so they do move. There was a tax code where Pennsylvania didn't pay tax when putting money into retirement, and Delaware didn't pay tax taking it out. You had tons of border hoppers taking advantage of this. It's not controversial or conspiratorial. It just is what it is.
Account for almost 50% of violent crime. And those who have been released from prison account for 70% were rearrested within 3 years. Is these no cash...
Are these no cash?
Were rearrested within 3 years. These no cash bail systems that, we're tending to see...
Bad and leading to more crime? Yes.
Places like New York, New Jersey, Illinois, DC, and we talked about Michigan. Is that actually benefiting people, or is it just... Are we not keeping people...
I mean, it's benefiting the criminals. It surely is benefiting the criminals.
Well, safe like we want to.
I think, I'm proud of a lot of the trajectories that we're on in Michigan. I think that when it comes to the no cash bail, what we see is a situation where people without resources pay a much bigger penalty than those that do. Just one more example of it is in the criminal justice.
So here's an idea. If you can't pay for bail, don't do the crime.
Stupid.
Realm. Our recidivism rate is really low in Michigan.
That's good.
I'm proud of that. But certainly, there are always going to be examples of where someone is, not a part of the general rule and is an egregious example. And I think you just raised a couple.
And then 2 final rapid fires. First one, a little more sad. Second one, very happy. Political extremism. It's scary.
Yeah, I think we're in for a violent couple of years.
We gotta give it. We gotta give a dilly dilly to that. We gotta give a dilly dilly to that. Oh, look at poor Morty. Can we get one more super chat before we leave? One more.
Non-governable city.
People are exercising a lot of their rights to take it to the streets and get their voices heard.
Political extremism was the #1 issue in America.
It's not that he's doing that great. It's that compared to the fact that he's sitting across from an active politician and she's so bad. Not saying, like he definitely understands finances. But also he was texting like a 14-year-old boy. So.
Get their voices heard.
Political extremism was the #1 issue in America.
An alarming rise in political violence across the U.S., targeting both Democrats and Republicans. Nearly a third of Americans now believe political violence may be necessary to get the country back on track.
A man broke into the Pennsylvania governor's mansion in April and set the dining room alight in an attempt to kill Governor Josh Shapiro and his family.
President Donald Trump is announcing on Truth Social, Charlie Kirk is dead.
The horror unfolded.
Dilly dilly. 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 Dilly dilly.
R.I.P. Charlie Kirk.
At around 9 last night, a group of people leaving a young diplomat's reception at the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington when a gunman opened fire. Both diplomatic staff at the Israeli embassy were killed. Tonight, it's being investigated as a targeted terror attack.
Right now at 6:04 happening today, Minnesotans will begin saying goodbye to a powerful political leader who was tragically assassinated in her own home.
Stop the steal! Let's get their gun!
I know people on Martha's Vineyard. Who, if they had the opportunity to kill Donald Trump, probably would. They think he's Hitler.
We just saw Charlie Kirk get shot. Me, people are going to view me as more right-wing from this conversation because I push back on some left-wing policies. Sure. And if Governor Abbott from Texas was here, I'd push back on some right-wing policies. That's what happens. But people are going to see that. And they've already called me fascist and Nazi online just because I say...
That's what they do.
Personal responsibility is okay with money. Whoa, scary. But people are labeling that and then killing them because they're fascists. Kill all fascists. Okay, maybe that makes sense. But if you label a normal person a fascist, you kill them? What do you think is going on with political...
That's why or at least one of the reasons why you see all the, or you hear all this white supremacist, white nationalist, Nazi, all that kind of stuff is thrown around as a way to brainwash people to feel like it is okay to treat these people differently because they are lower. You are right, and they are the enemy. Not only are they wrong, they are evil.
Extremism right now, and how would you solve it?
I think it's really dangerous when we have leaders who want to fan the flames of anger and
Called it. It's like, I mean, you're as thin as a piece of paper and
violence. I think it will continue to see it grow, which is why I take it so seriously, which is why whether I'm the target of it or one of my colleagues on either side of the aisle is, or the president of the United States is, I speak out against it every single time.
Good.
I don't make an excuse for it. I do not accept it, no matter where it's coming from. It's not okay. And I think it's be refreshing if everyone with a platform did that.
And then hey, the poll came out today, NCAA hockey, the top 3 teams, Michigan State, Michigan, Western Michigan. We are the hockey state.
That's right.
We own this place. National champions last year, Western Michigan. I don't know. You're probably rooting for Michigan State, but I just want to share a little bit of hockey love here.
I love it. Let's go, man.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Future President of the United States, Governor Whitmer here. Thanks for joining us for this financial audit.
I don't think she's going to be the future president, but some people clearly. Well, what do the comments look like? Let's see what the comments look like. We got it should be a 50-part series with every state coming in. I'd be down for that. Well, I mean, if he did well. As a Michigan, that is it. If I don't hear Caleb screaming, "Fix the damn roads," then I don't want it. Oh, damn, the potholes are really that bad, huh? Number 2 comment is about the fucking potholes. And we'll find while her staffers were prepping her for this episode, she couldn't answer the pension question. Gave a word salad answer. Okay, she couldn't answer the pension question, and now we've got a timestamp.
We're phasing,
so we don't have to worry about it.
Well, we're phasing out, is what I'm saying. So as you think about like how is this sustainable over the long run, it's not going to be as big an issue for us in the long run because it's not available to people.
That's good. Now
that is not a response to the question, but okay. What good? Around Caleb was recording this condo. I really just screamed. Oh, this is the most debt you've ever seen in the history of the show. That would have been funny. Where's the DoorDash? And now the IRS being audited could actually be a thing. There you go. Can you audit the rest of the government? You're asking your question. Coming back. So, I mean, like, so we got another Michigander. I appreciate the research you did, real numbers discussed, and relaxed conversation you conducted. Governor Whitmer, good on you for hanging out with Caleb. I think I need more yelling, right? You should have been yelling there. Yeah, so I like that. You want to hear the drug week story? Nah. I'm good. I don't know. That was extremely disappointing, yet kind of what I should have expected from a Democrat politician. I mean, you know, there's some real duds on the right, but there's a class of politicians that are learning you have to be more of a person. This polite politics era before Trump is gone. It's gone. Ain't never coming back. So yeah, better get used to it. I would have loved to hear a little bit more from her so that I could feel like she was a real person, that she actually cared, that she had any ideas, anything. But we got nothing. So, I mean, hey, I'm definitely not, never say never, but it would take a very strong change in the landscape for me to vote for Democrat in 3 years. So, likely not going to be part of that. But if she can't do better, if she can't give more substance, then she's just an old-timey politician. All politicians are politicians. Unfortunately true. Well, I mean, no. I kind of expected a little bit more. I don't know why. Politicians are there for themselves, even the ones you like. So you have to look at politicians as a different class of person. You can't judge them based on how you judge your friends. You can't judge them based on which streamers do you like. You can't judge them based on which people in the chat do you want to hang out with. It's a different game. It is a different game. Guys, thank you so very, very much for hanging out. You guys know I appreciate that you could be doing anything else in the world, and yet here you are hanging out with me and Morty. Let's give a big shout out to the donations. We had Jennifer and a Warehouse, and then of course the sponsor of the stream, Funk Master General. Thank you so very, very much, guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. Even, it's not always going to be the most a crazy video that we're watching, but there is always something to take away, and I appreciate that you guys are here to check that out. And we'll make something better for the next stream. I really do appreciate you guys hanging out. Once again, for the Verdies, that is my co-host Morty the Overlord, and I have been your host Lutch, aka the Indian Jesus, here to resurrect the second coming of common sense. Until next time, guys, we are out of here.